Hello and welcome to News Morning here on New Day on TV3. My name is Beatrice Sedu. Coming up in the next few minutes. Fuel prices set for sharp surge from today as some OMCs begin early adjustments with petrol and diesel already rising at the pumps. Also, Minister for Roads and Highways Kwame Govins Abuja defends sole source road contracts. And much later on the program, Special Prosecutor Kisia Jabin urges civil society organizations to help retain office amid threats from political interference. My name is Beatrice Sedu. Thank you very much for joining us on the program this morning. Now, fuel prices are set to rise sharply from today, but some oil marketing companies have already begun increasing pump prices ahead of the official adjustment window.
According to the latest outlook by the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, COMAC, petrol could rise by 8.06% to about 15 cedis 19 pesos per litre, while diesel is projected to increase by 9.76% to around 17 cedis 85 pesos per litre. Liquefied petroleum gas (LPG) is also expected to see a marginal increase, with prices likely hitting about 16 cedis 59 pesos. Even before the official pricing window takes effect, some major oil marketing companies have already begun adjusting their prices upward. Gual has increased petrol from 12 cedis 24 pesos to 13 cedis 30 pesos per litre, while diesel has gone up from 15 cedis 69 pesos to 17 cedis 10 pesos. Star Oil has also revised its prices, with petrol rising from 12 cedis 19 pesos to 13 cedis 49 pesos per litre, and diesel jumping from 14 cedis 25 pesos to 17 cedis 97 pesos. These changes took effect from 8 a.m. on March 31. This will mark the fifth projected increase in fuel prices since January 2026 and the second time this year that consumers are experiencing such a steep hike. With these early adjustments already underway, consumers should brace for further increases in the coming days as the new pricing window begins.
In a related development, President John Mahama has also expressed concern over the potential impact of rising global crude oil prices on the economy. Speaking at a meeting with civil society organizations at the Jubilee House, Mr. Mahama said that while the city has remained relatively stable, ongoing global tensions could pose risks if they persist.
We're beginning to enjoy some of the lowest fuel prices in a long time. Unfortunately, they say man proposes, God disposes. I don't know what came into the heads of Trump, Netanyahu, and all of them to start this war. If this had happened when the cedi was at 17, we probably could not have been able to survive. The push factor is coming from the price of crude oil and finished products. We've absorbed it. If this thing continues some more, then we'll have to take some decisive decisions. Some of the weapons we have is to look at the margins to try and cushion consumers, and then also look at the recently imposed 1 cedi development levy to try and cushion consumers.
The president at the same meeting said government has issued firm directives prohibiting the taxation of illegal mining operations, which he says undermines national efforts to clamp down on galamsey.
It was a carryover to this new DCA. So they continued the practice in order to increase their internally generated funds to tax champagne machines. The presidency went into it. We've given a strict directive that they are not supposed to tax champagne machines. Champagne machines are illegal. They were even taxing excavators and all that, any excavator that enters. And so it defeats the purpose of the fight against illegal mining. And so we need to educate the district chief executives that even though you desire to increase internally generated revenue, you cannot increase internally generated revenue from illegal activity.
On education, President Mahama said teachers will soon be recruited at the district level.
The vacancies should be declared in the district. We won't do that centralized posting. The districts will advertise, and so you must advertise to the district. Accra is closed, Kumasi is closed, Takoradi is closed. And so if you want to work as a teacher, you must find a district where there are vacancies to go and work. Because if we continue this, everybody will continue to go into the urban areas and there'll be no teachers in the rural areas. And so until we decentralize the recruitment, we'll continue to have this problem.
In a separate development, utility consumers across Ghana are set to receive some relief beginning from today following a downward adjustment in electricity and water tariffs announced by the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission. There's more in this News Desk report.
The Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC, has approved an average reduction of 4.81% in electricity tariffs and 3.06% in water tariffs as part of its routine quarterly review mechanism. The new rates take effect at the start of the second quarter of 2026. According to the Commission, the tariff review reflects improved macroeconomic conditions, including a strengthening Ghana cedi, declining inflations and adjustments in key cost drivers within the energy sector. Under the new structure, residential, commercial, and industrial consumers are all expected to benefit, with some of the largest percentage cuts applying to high voltage and special low tariff users. Water consumers across various categories will also see modest decreases in charges. The Commission noted that the quarterly tariff adjustment system is designed to balance consumer protection with the financial sustainability of utility providers while avoiding sharp and infrequent price shocks. PURC also noted that for the first time a commercial electric vehicle charging tariff has been introduced to support the transition to green energy. The new tariff is expected to encourage the growth of electric vehicle charging services in the country. The reduction in utility tariffs comes as welcome news for households and businesses that have faced rising costs in recent years, offering some relief from cost of living pressures. Judith Brown, TV3 News.
Now, the Minister for Roads and Highways, Kwame Abuja, has defended the government's decision to award several road contracts through sole sourcing, insisting that all contractors under the flagship Big Push program have been duly paid for work done. This follows an investigation by the Fourth Estate, which alleges that the ministry awarded 81 sole source contracts worth over 73 billion Ghana cedis within a 7-month period. Now, responding to the concerns during a tour of road projects in Accra, the minister maintained that the government has honoured its financial commitments, restoring confidence in the road sector.
The Minister for Roads and Highways, Kwame Abuja, justified the use of sole sourcing in some cases, citing the complexity and scope of ongoing projects, which may require additional works beyond standard road construction. The minister made these remarks while inspecting 4 major road corridors: the Accra-Tema Motorway, Tema Aplawo, Dodowa Afienya Dowenya, and Adenta Dodowa routes.
I make no excuse for giving an opportunity to a contractor like Oswald to do this. In any case, part of this project was already awarded before we came, also on sole source. We didn't see anything wrong with it. What we added some to it for him, and I believe that the values we attached to this project were quantified based on the scope of works. But I think the radio talk is different from people. I tell people the ministry is an engineering enterprise.
Despite the optimism, concerns remain over the slow pace of work on portions of the Tema Aplawo Road. But while the minister projects confidence, the reality on some project sites tells a different story. On the Tema Aplawo stretch, frustration is mounting. The minister openly criticized BHM company over what he describes as near stagnant progress.
It's too difficult to persuade you to understand the public, what the public is going through. Yes, if it's about money, we pay the bill. So start working. Don't say that in your contract you say you use 1 month to remobilize, but the public can't take this. So I think that we should reconsider saying that you remobilize after Easter.
The contractor, however, insists it remains committed to delivering the project.
With the help of the ministry and government, the contractor has been paid now. We have also paid our subcontractors. We are remobilizing as we speak. We've started some work, and right after Easter, which is next week, everything that needs to be done will take effect from there.
Meanwhile, the Roads and Highways Minister has directed all contractors handling new road projects for an electronic tolling system at the design stage.
It's very important for the consultant and yourselves to work with highways currently to make sure that there's easy synergy between what you are doing and what will come by a third party, how the concessionaire.
Despite challenges with some contractors, the minister says several others are making steady progress, with some even ahead of schedule. Kwame Gavin Abuja urged contractors to recruit more young engineers, describing the sector as a critical pathway to tackling youth unemployment.
Ranking member on the Public Accounts Committee, Samuel Atamils, has referred a former director of procurement at the Defense Ministry to the Attorney General for prosecution over the alleged use of falsified documents in the procurement of 6 vehicles intended for monitoring the 2024 general election, which were not delivered. This follows findings by the Auditor General, which rejected store receipt vouchers valued at 4.8 million Ghana cedis in a special audit of government commitments and payables, citing that the vehicles in question had not been supplied.
Heavily on us that he had information that they were not going to pay for the vehicles, and so demanded to take the vehicles away. So we considered the issue that to release the vehicles to the supplier and then bound him to keep them for us by extending the contract. Because at the time...
With whose authority did you do this?
Well, it was advice I give to management.
You,
since, yes,
in your capacity as?
Well, it was advice I give, like, this is the request from the supplier.
A whole military institution. In your capacity as, what's your role, please?
I was the director for procurement.
Director for procurement?
Yes.
And you gave such a directive. When you don't you have lawyers? Don't you have a chief director at the ministry? And in the chain of command, I know for the military, they don't joke with that. And so you sit in your office, take a decision that is binding on the whole Ministry of Defense.
Mr. Chair, it was an advice I give to management that under the circumstance, if the vehicles are kept and we are not able to pay for them, yes, it may lead to judgment debt for us. But it's an option that we can explore. That is, we extend the validity of the contract so that the supplier will keep the vehicles for us at such a time that the ministry has the money to pay.
Minister, we'll be waiting for the documents and then we can continue with the rest.
Oh, he has to prove that he got permission from that guy. Yes, but that's hearsay. But just to let you know, I'll have a special report to the Attorney General.
The Special Prosecutor, Kisia Jabin, has urged civil society organizations to help fight to retain the office and prevent it from operating according to the whims of the political class. Now, speaking at a national dialogue on the office of the Special Prosecutor, Kisia Jabin said that despite failed efforts to have the office scrapped in Parliament following the intervention of the President, its existence is still under threat.
Fight against corruption in Ghana has faced several setbacks amidst political interference. A report by civil society organization Center for Democratic Development CDD Ghana reveals that a large percentage of the populace believes the country has a higher prospect of progress if corruption is tackled by an independent body. The Director of Advocacy and Policy Engagement at CDD Ghana, Dr. Kojo Pumpuni Asante, maintains that the government needs to give the Office of the Special Prosecutor the space to operate independently.
Process committees that we should create an anti-corruption, or basically the current established OSP together with the Directorate of the Anti-Corruption emerge into an anti-corruption commission, an ethics commission. So you already have the structures. It's basically just the legal mandate and all that. So that will be entrenching the OSP. And then the issue about independence and so on, that has been a fight for so many years, goes away.
The Special Prosecutor, Kisia Jabing, has over time lamented the political bottlenecks surrounding the work of the office. He expressed concerns about attempts to scrap the Office of the Special Prosecutor.
The attempts to scrap the Office of the Special Prosecutor last year is not dead. And this is the challenge I'm giving to civil society. It is not dead, it is live. But we should not depend on the goodness of the president to say, withdraw it from parliament. Rather, we should build this institution for the ages, an institution which stands the test of time.
The Executive Director of Transparency International Ghana, Mary Adam, maintains that anti-graft campaigners and CSOs should not wait for the implementation of the Constitutional Review Committee's recommendations, but should instead increase advocacy.
This office has life if we give it life. And so for me, I believe that the fight against corruption until the Constitutional Review Committee's recommendations are fully implemented, what we have now, we should guard it with all our strength and to make the fight against corruption better.
The Office of the Special Prosecutor has come under public scrutiny in recent times, with many, including politicians, calling for the office to be made redundant following accusations of non-performance. At the National Dialogue on the Office of the Special Prosecutor, stakeholders affirmed the need for the institution to be given the freedom and independence to operate, rather than being subjected to misconceptions regarding its role.
That's all for News Morning here on New Day on TV3. My name is Beatrice Sedu. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. Do continue with us on New Day.
The wait is over. A new world, new stakes across Ghana's
I decide to stay at home or I decide to do a lot of.
Well, you don't have a choice. You have to come to work.
I mean, absolutely.
Yeah.
But the fuel prices are still going up.
Yeah.
It's coming at a time when we had enjoyed very sustained. Reduction in prices. Actually, if you compare to how we ended 2024 and into 2025 and coming to 2026.
It was 10 point something, right?
Yes. Yes. It was that low, but unfortunately, our good friend Donald Trump decided to take matters into his own hands, and already the debate has started. In fact, it started long ago. It will continue. The extent to which we are insulated from such global shocks and all of those political discussions that take place here in the country.
I was checking the BBC last night, and one of the comments he made that telling the countries to go for the crude from the Strait of Hormuz themselves. It's quite unfortunate what's happening. And really, if this continues, like we've seen the projections, it means that things can only get worse in terms of pricing for these petroleum products. So we need to be able to deal with it.
Absolutely. I think the expectation by many is that, at some point in time, cool heads should prevail for all of this to come to some conclusion for us.
It doesn't look like we're going to see that soon, because we have the White House telling us that, they're having fruitful conversations with Iran. Iran says, no, that's not what we are saying. So it's quite a difficult one, but we do hope that, like you said, there would be at a point some compromise somewhere, just so we can have things regularized for us.
Another issue that has also become topical in the last 24 to 48 hours, the Public Accounts Committee as well. First off was that clash between the ranking, the chairman, and Eric Edemagbana over the issue surrounding party people blocking some warehouse and the whole back and forth. Then yesterday also, we had some very interesting details having to do with procurement of some cars by the Ministry of Defense for monitoring of elections, about 4 vehicles. We are told that documents were falsified, the cars were not delivered, and the suggestion by the committee, the ranking member on the committee, Samuel Atamils, that the procurement officer, who is now at a different ministry now, who had been brought over to answer questions, he should be prosecuted. And there was a whole lot of interesting interaction there. And back to, for those of us who have done journalism for a while, this is something that we've seen a lot of times come up at the Public Accounts Committee.
When I saw that Samuel Atamils had recommended his prosecution, I was like, okay, at least for the first time, we're going to see some real action taken. But the interesting bits I saw, the kind of questions Abnosa Asare, the former Deputy Finance Minister, who is now the chair of the committee, were asking this person. And in which capacity, when you have, the chief director and a whole ministries, like your decision or your advice, as it were, is seen binding on a ministry as serious as the Defense Ministry. So I do hope that Samuel Atamils will go through with what he said. He said he's presenting a report to the Attorney General's office, and we have the AG picking it up, and hopefully the evidence really proves that something was wrong, and for the first time, once again, we're able to see somebody prosecuted for the wrong thing done. Because really, that's what a number of people are waiting for. If you don't get punished for what you do wrong, I can be emboldened and say, forget. I've heard people say Ghana will day. It will still continue anyway. But if we see 1, 2, 3 people prosecuted, everybody will sit up.
I agree.
In every aspect of our lives, really.
Especially in this particular instance, you have an individual who has been basically indicted in an audit report. He's actually been moved to a different ministry. He's moved from the defense. He's now at Lands and Natural Resources. He's working there. He's working there. And Ross Nelson was making a point that he thinks that he ought to have been interdicted. And it begs the question again. I know that some years ago, the review of the audit report by Parliament was many, many years behind. I think we've made some progress. We are now just about 2 years behind. I think maybe we should try and take it maybe down to maybe a year. So that if we are in 2026, maybe we are reviewing that of 2025. I think that would only be fair. And I know also that the recent specialized courts that the Chief Justice set up, one of the courts has to do with Auditor General reports as well. And so there's a court available where those who want to challenge some of these findings, if prosecutions are to arise, potentially they could go over to those courts as well. And so that is also something that we can look out for in terms of that particular matter. I think all in all, it's been a very interesting news week, not forgetting the issues around the Black Stars as well.
Oh, I don't even want to talk. You know, I was telling somebody that it was just Friday, right? In the morning. That I said for the first time, I mean, I support the Black Queens because I know they will always deliver. Even if they don't score goals, I know that they will play in such a way that you know they give their best. But for the first time on Friday, I said, okay, let me be a nice citizen and just give
I remember you reluctantly give us your support.
A little bit, yes, of my heart to the Black Stars, and there they went again, allowing Austria to score at 5-1. And I'm sure I was just joking about it, that the one even, perhaps God just sat from above and said, you know what, let me just clear the embarrassment a little bit and bless them with one goal. But seriously, and then we have another back-to-back defeat, Germany, and then Otuado gets sacked.
Yes.
In the what? Was it the dead of the night?
Yeah, the dead of the night.
It's very late.
Yeah, I mean, the dead of the night. I mean, we are told that a crunch meeting took place between management and the officials who lead the team. And basically, at the end of the meeting, it had been communicated to him that he had been sacked. I suspect, and what many of the sports pundits have pointed to, is to the effect that the decision had been taken after the Austria game that had been played, and he's been around for 22 matches, and his win rate is less than 40%. And for someone who is doing his second stint, and in fact, I've seen people who have made reference to his first stint as well, where the win rate was again less than 40%, and it's one of the lowest that we've had in recent times. So the Black Stars is without a coach. We'll get some update from the sports team when they join us later on about who should lead the Black Stars about 70 days to the World Cup.
I've seen commentary that it's already a recipe for disaster, sacking your coach ahead of, I mean, just few days to a World Cup that you hope to perform well at. And I think just about 2 months, right? Yes. For, I mean, and you've sacked your coach. But again, supporters, particularly, I believe, those who were criticizing him are feeling like, okay, we're waiting for you to sack this guy a long time ago. He's caused a lot of damage. Why are you sacking him now? What difference is he going to make?
I mean, I think that the question that comes up strongly is that did the team look like it was going to get any better?
Yeah.
I think we can all say no to that answer. So once you answer that way, then the other question now becomes that, will it get any worse?
Yeah.
Because if it didn't look like we're going to get any better, because in the latter part of last year, in the Kirin Cup, we lost virtually 2 matches. We lost.
Yeah.
It was an abysmal performance.
Yeah.
Another window, we've lost 2 games. So it's not that we're getting any better to say that, well, the man was on some path such that we have to be concerned.
Yes.
We have to be concerned that it's too short notice. We're not getting any better.
Yeah.
So can it get any worse? I don't think so. I think it can only get better. Because if it gets worse, we'll not get to the level that we couldn't even qualify for the African Cup of Nations. Yes, he did well. After we failed to qualify for the African Cup of Nations, he qualified us to the World Cup. But still, I think we need a new coach. But
I just do hope that we don't get kicked out of the group stages like we've seen in the previous ones. At least we get to go through. I miss the Black Stars of old, where we strived and we went to the finals, and all the excitement. Now it's anyway. Yeah.
Don't worry, the Black Stars gives all of us that reaction, and the stats of Otuado came up on the screen there. I mean, that's where we are as a country, but I mean, whether it's eventually, we hope that the team here is back on the screen there. So 22 games played, 8 wins, 5 draws, and 9 defeats. I mean, that's not impressive at all. So he's basically lost more games than he's actually won. And I mean, there was one other stat that I saw about the goals conceded as well. I mean, around 30 goals.
Can you imagine that?
We've not. I mean, some
see, there's even arguments at the back. Some are saying it's not that bad. Others are saying it's bad.
How is it not that bad? He's lost more games than he's won. Yes,
8 wins and 9 defeats. That's an extra one over the wins.
He's lost more games. He's lost more games than he's won. I mean, it's terrible. It's terrible. And I mean, and you rightfully made reference to. You see when he said the Black Stars of old. People who are very old will think you are referring to like old.
Yeah.
But you're just talking about from 2006.
Yeah.
When we qualified for the first World Cup in a tight group that we had Italy. We played against Italy. I remember very well. We lost to Italy. We went ahead and beat Czech Republic. We beat USA. Then we exited at the second round after Brazil had knocked us out. 2010, we went all the way till Luis Suarez hand prevented us from advancing to the semi-final. Would have made history then. We couldn't do that. We saw what happened in 2014. Very abysmal. We couldn't progress out of the group stages. Then now, in 2022, we didn't do much better as well. So we've had a better Black Stars team than we do now. And currently it's bad.
I was so embarrassed with the Austria game, because then I remember when I was outside of the country, and then you would see people who probably don't even know much about Ghana and say, oh, you're from Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah and Black Stars, and you just be there, pumping yourself. You're like, yeah. And now you get Austria defeating you, giving you 5-1. So anyway,
it's been bad. I mean, look at the statistics for our last 5 matches. We beat Comoros 1-0. Japan beat us by 2-0. South Korea beat us by 1-0. Austria 5-1 and Germany 2-1. So those of you who are saying it's not too bad, just look at it closely. The only team you've been able to beat is Comoros. And the Comoros, we have to put it in context that Comoros had actually beaten us in one of the tournaments not too long ago.
I remember.
In fact, even during the qualifying phase, we struggled against them. So we're just lucky to pick up a 1-0 win. Then see how it's been so far. I mean, I think I like Otoado. I was one of those who was very happy when he was appointed the first time. Because of his experience in Dortmund. He had come up through their ranks as a player, eventually as a coach over there as well. So we all had
he was an assistant coach at the time,
in fact, he was tipped to be one of the very few black coaches to coach in the Bundesliga eventually. That was the part that he was on. And
so is it a problem of the environment?
I think...
Because, I mean, for him to get to where he was in Europe...
I think no matter what you want to blame it on, the fact is that he's at the helm of affairs and the team didn't do well.
But I hope that the few days that we have, we'll be able to select a qualified, even if it's interim coach. Before that though...
Yeah, I mean, the team's
these are records.
I mean, we played 34 games. He's won 12 of them. He's lost 9.
That's less than half of the games we played.
Yes, I mean, that's why the win rate is at 35% now. And conceded 44 goals and scored 49 with 13 draws. I mean, it's not impressive at all. And I mean, for those of you who disagree, you can just check out Kwesi Appiah's statistics. Kwesi Appiah is one of the most vilified Black Stars coach that I can remember quite recently. But if you compare his records to that of Otoado, you would think that you are looking at the records of Pep Guardiola's against Otoado. It's far apart. I mean, those times Black Stars were playing and you had confidence that we're going to win. I mean, Charlie. Oh, Ghana, Charlie. And you see, the thing is that the thing about the Black Stars, thing that annoys one of us is we always pretend we don't like the Black Stars.
Oh yeah, but you know you do, because even when you don't watch the game because you're like, they're going to break my heart, you're still looking at, oh, have we scored? Or what was it?
The Germany game. The Germany game. Well enough, so we're working and stuff, and I'd opened the game small, I was watching it. I thought I was the only one watching. When the ball went into the net, I was hearing goal, like, here at media, all different parts of the building. I was like, oh, wow, you guys are all watching. So all of us
are watching, we still have a heart somewhere in for the Black Stars. And like I was saying earlier, with a few days we have ahead of the World Cup, I do hope that we'll select somebody who is qualified and not do the politicking around it. Because I still kind of believe that we have people who are good enough to coach the national team. But again, whether or not we would allow the political stuff, and when I talk about, I'm not even talking about partisan politics, the politics of selecting people to coach so that we are able to get really a good person to really handle the national team. We need to get to that place again where all of us are proud. They don't just score one game and we're all excited. The next one, it is 3-0 or something.
I mean, but I mean, the timing, another challenge that the timing presents is that the question of, okay, so if we are going to pick someone, are we picking someone thinking beyond the tournament? Because in the tournament, you're going to have just 3 matches. So if the person does not advance us out of the group, are we picking someone that we are trusting that he's going to lead us after the tournament?
And if you look at the groups, it's tough, eh?
Yes,
what we have ahead of us.
I mean, we have Panama first, then England second. Those are, I mean, in fact, especially the Panama game, at least we should be able to win we should be able to win that. But I
well,
think
we said the same thing about Austria.
This Austria thing, you don't remind us. That game was so bad. But I mean, I think that the decision needs to be made about whether we are getting a coach for the next 2 years or we simply want a coach for the tournament, because either ways, because if we want a coach for the tournament, then after the tournament we can let go of that coach and decide what we want to do. Maybe too, if that coach impresses whoever we pick,
that's exactly what I'm thinking of. Yes, to continue. At least, let's see you perform, we keep improving the conditions and eventually give you a permanent stay.
I mean, to the extent that we've had a lot of local coaches. I remember there was a period also that the conversation used to be a bit around having a local or an expatriate coach whenever this comes around. I mean, we've done Kwesi Appiah 2 times. He's gone and he's come back. We did Otuado, he's gone and he's come back. We had Chris Hilton in between. We brought back Milovan Raivac in between. It didn't work. There are suggestions that maybe Kwesi Appiah should be given a third stint. I mean, I've heard that suggestion. He currently coaches Sudan. He has a team of, in fact, his backroom staff is basically Ghanaians. He has an assistant coach who is Ghanaian, the goalkeepers, also Ghanaian. The suggestion is that, well, maybe we should tell Sudan to let Kwesi Appiah come. And the others who are also saying that we should get a great coach of international pedigree to come and take over the Black Stars. And I don't know where. I mean, when I think of, if I was an employer and I was employing someone to handle my team, I think I'll look out for more of competence. I will not care whether.
Of course, I mean, the space of meritocracy. I think we're not getting a lot of it. You should get that because you've proven yourself to handle such things, and a team as big as the national team. Yes, we need somebody like that. But there's a message for you from Kalioma. He says, Sister B, ask Akable whether indeed Donald Trump is his friend. That's Kalioma from Wa.
It's not just my friend. I said our good friend. Our good friend. All of us. Is he not our good friend?
Yes, but what are we treating for this morning?
For this morning, I think we can do a cocktail, basically a cocktail. We've seen. Let's keep a little bit of Black Stars in there. It excites people. So maybe you can let's focus on who replaces the Otuado now. We can accommodate that, and let's also deal with the issues about the fuel prices. I mean, the fuel prices have started going up since 31st March, and today too.
The rent, they are supposed to implement the 6-month thing from today, right?
I was watching your conversation the other time on
last week
agenda with the rent
the
guys.
Commissioner, acting commissioner.
Yeah, I mean, I was just, you let me keep quiet. But I mean, that's also another thing that you can call in and discuss with us. So I mean, more or less like a cocktail. So the fuel prices, the Black Star conversation, the fuel price mainly because of its implication for all other things that we do here in the country. And the diesel especially is at 17 now. It's at 17 now.
From 14, right?
Yes, a lot of the cars, a lot of the cars are petrol cars. So mostly, me and you will tend not to pay attention to the diesel.
Yeah.
But trust me, the items that we use, that we always told that when fuel prices go up, they are impacted. Those items are mainly conveyed using diesel trucks. Those are the long vehicles that you see. They are mainly diesel trucks. So they are the ones who are bringing the cement from the ports and taking it everywhere. They are the ones who are conveying the tomato in the big trucks and sending it all over. So that it's an area that business people are always paying attention to. We've hit 17.
And there's already an impact on the price of tomato.
Yes.
Aside from the Burkina Faso thing, with this thing coming in, because I bought tomatoes over the weekend and I was amazed at the price and the quantity I got. So you can imagine that if diesel price has shot up from 14, a little over 14 to now a little over 17, we should be expecting worse.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let's switch over. It's time for this morning. Call in and share your views on all these matters with us here on New Day on TV3.
And the rent commissioner is responsible to ensuring that the law is enforced, the law is applied, and people are educated to conform with the law. After 63 years, the visionary legendary president has acted and done what must be done.
Would you
for me?
Yes. So would you kindly answer the question that the rent control has been very weak?
First of all,
that's why
it was weak because 63 years, the person to take charge to make the law work was not there.
Okay, but until the president came, you were still there and were having this problem. Why did you have to wait for the president?
I was appointed 2 months ago, if you care to know. I'm saying that after my appointment, it tells you there's a direction now. First, there has been rent control 63 years without a commissioner appointed. And that law, the only person who is supposed to sit and empowered and included by the powers of the law, the rent commissioner. 63 years ago, there has never been a commissioner. And that tells you that it cannot be enforced, because if you take the person who was in charge of rent control or the chief rent officer, his responsibility was to take charge of adjudicating issues, and he was in charge of cases. The law in its perspective, in its whole entirety, there wasn't any person to take charge. And the law was clear in section 2. Appoint a commissioner. The president has invoked that. That is why today, over 60 years, have you ever heard rent issues being talked about like this before? Because there's a commissioner who is working within the vision of the president. And the president is saying that the law has to work.
The point I'm making is when I say that the rent control has been there even before the president made the pronouncement, I'm not talking specifically about your appointment.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
I'm saying that you admit that the rent control has been very weak and ineffective.
I admit 100%, Beatrice. Honestly, before I was appointed, I have seized the opportunity to critique the activity of rent control now by that time. Those who are seeing me today, who has followed me, now I'm one of the critique of the rent control department of Ghana. And what the tenant union gentleman is talking about is not far from the truth. But I hope and believe that there's a new direction. And that direction is going to put us to speed. Today, I'm happy. I'm glad to see the move and the change and the reforms that is coming. And to me, trust me, Beatrice, I want to hold forth, because I will take the responsibility now, today, as a rent acting commissioner of the ineffectiveness of rent control. I would admit it. Yes, and I want everything to be geared towards me. And I'll carry that cross and make sure I'll redirect and reform with respect to the vision of the president, which now he says, I have appointed a commissioner to act, and I expect the commissioner to enforce and make the law work. One of my responsibilities with the rent control is to ensure, as Mr. Reverend talked about, no education. It's true. Not that landlords are disobedient. Today, let me confess. When I started talking about the rent issues, my first directive was try to get the rent card, which was Section 20 of the Rent Act. And it was repeated in Section 5 of the PND's Law 1936. And that law was clear that within 1 week, if you just rent your property out, you must give a tenancy rent card. Yeah. The rent card was to do transactional recordings, different from the tenancy agreement. And today, I can tell you, when the other directive was given, people are joining queue across the entire country, rent control, to go and seek for the rent card. Why? Because a commissioner who want to look at the rules of the game and to make sure that you can guide landlords and tenants to obey the laws is now at work. So
interesting conversation there, Beatrice. We understand that they intend to do some more education before they implement it.
And so we're learning that instead of it taking effect from today, it's been extended to September. I remember the acting commissioner, Mr. Frederick Opoku, saying that the commission intended to do some education, which is some sort of giving grace period to all those concerned. And so perhaps not too surprised that we're hearing it's been shifted from the beginning of this month to September. So hopefully by September, as he mentioned earlier, somewhere in the conversation, we would see they taking action, that at least people have had enough grace period to put things in order. And so they wouldn't have any excuse why they're taking the 2 years or more instead of the 6 months as prescribed by the law.
I think the best way, gradually, housing has become a big challenge, and maybe if the state actually had housing and it was readily available and affordable, and they were offering the 6 months, it would be now easier. Because the challenge now is that the deficit still persists.
Yep.
people don't have places to live. So basically, we are all at the mercy of landlords who would insist. Because if he wants to take 2-3 years and you don't pay, he's just basically going to give it to someone else. And you may end up homeless. I mean, you would have to cough up that amount of money. I mean, other places, you were outside there. I mean, you can do month to month.
Every month, yes.
Yeah,
I mean, you still have
fine.
the security deposit, as it were,
Yes.
of the amount that you're supposed to be paying every month. But yes, you get to pay every month.
Well,
yes.
So that's another issue there. You can call in and share with us. But I want us to do a bit of petroleum. Let's bring you a bit of some numbers with a graph just to show you how things are looking. I'm going to walk just to the screen right here and show you a bit of that, just for us to just put it within context to understand what has been happening on the fuel front here, and very important for us to just bring that to you. And what we are going to do is that we are looking at Ghana's petroleum exposure and pricing under the Middle East tension, and it's very important for us to place it within that context to understand what is playing out there. And this is the global crude prices, and it's hit $104 as at 1st of April 2026.
That's effective today.
Effective today, and I want you to take a closer look at how the graph looks here from the latter part of last year. So from within the May, July, September, November era, you look at it over there. So you just see the zigzag showing that the prices were very, very low and we're below 62.6 per barrel. But all of a sudden, see where we've hit. We've gone all the way up to 104.3 per barrel. So, I mean, it's a fact that we can't run away from, that there's a key role of global prices in all of this. And that is how come we are where we are. If you flip this and you look at some period back in 2020, you see also a similar trend. And so it is what we are. It is a context within which we operate in. The facts of the matter is that we are influenced. We do not refine enough and as much as we need for our local supply. So this is where would always be. There will always be this kind of thing playing out within that particular context of what is happening. Now, what we are going to look at is look at the crude supply in terms of the supply as against the demand. And then for those of you who've done some form of economics, you always know that the demand and supply forces, especially in a deregulated market, which you've been operating since 2015, it would always have an impact on what you would have here. You see, interestingly here, that supply for most periods from January 2025 all the way to the initial part of 2026, you see that the supply was always above the demand. So the demand is the black line that you see here. So the supply was always above demand. But when you come closely and look at the February, March 2026, you see all of a sudden that supply drops. And all of a sudden we have a situation where the demand is above supply. And whenever you have a demand being above supply, there would always be a challenge. It will basically mean that the products are not available in quantities that you'd have them to be available. And so people have the opportunity to now make money, especially those who are operating within the market space. It's a chance for them to make some good money. Now, this chart tells an interesting story. We are basically looking at where Ghana gets its petroleum imports from. We know that we are import dependent in terms of petroleum products, and we see that we directly get just 20% from the Gulf supplies. This is the region within which we are having most of the challenges. We just get 20% from there. 80% mainly comes from Europe, mainly Netherlands, Russia, and Belgium. And so the question that many of you would ask is that, well, it shouldn't be biting us too hard. And we need to put it within context that Europe also relies on these same areas for the raw products before we also get them refined, and we also obtain them as well. So that is how come we are still feeling the impact in the manner that we are. This is what matters to a lot of you who are watching us this morning as we prepare to step out. And we are limiting ourselves to two key oil marketing companies this morning. For Guel, petrol is moved from 12.24, it's down at 13.30. And keep your eye on this 13.30 because that is the floor price that has been fixed by the National Petroleum Authority. Diesel from 15.69 all the way to 17.10. Quite a significant jump, you would say. And then for Star Oil, they are doing petrol. They are now doing 13.49 per litre.
I mean, I find the Star Oil data quite interesting. This morning when I heard it, that, I mean, for a long time, Star Oil has been one of the lowest that you find. But with this new pricing window, you're finding Star Oil being quite expensive?
I think it's because of their place in the market now. And so we know that in terms of the distribution and control, they are now a significant player.
Yes.
Unlike the times past where they were trying to overtake and become the key player. They are basically a player that you can't overlook now. And so that could explain why, as a market leader, and it's also interesting because we had heard from some of those players say that, well, the floor price should be taken off. But here you have the situation where the state-owned girl is basically sticking to the floor price, basically, whereas they have gone above it. And so that is how things are looking there. Very interesting over there. So the floor price is now 13.30 and 17.10. So if you go back, you will see over here that Star Oil, like I said, so gold basically are staying with the price that have been set as the minimum by the NP, basically, and that's where they are staying. But Star Oil have gone above it.
That's almost 18 cedis per litre for diesel.
Yes. I mean, it's basically...
So it re-emphasizes the point you were making earlier about the kind of trucks that are coming in and what kind of goods these trucks are carrying. So if you have per litre costing, let's say 18 cedis, because that's just like 3 pesos.
Yes.
That is going to significantly increase the goods that they
yes, I mean your tomatoes, your iron rods, your cement, they are all basically moving in trucks that use diesel. So a lot of you will be fine and say that, well, it's just 13.49 around there, so we can just manage. But the diesel is a big problem. It's a big problem. Even the trucks that are conveying the petroleum products, they are most likely, more often than not, diesel trucks. And so these are the floor prices that are. And it's brought to fore an interesting conversation that we'll touch on when we cross over for a big issue about whether we should take a look at scrapping some of the taxes on it. But we'll just pause it here for now in terms of the analysis on this matter, just to put it within context as to why we are where we are currently, Beatrice. But our callers are calling in already.
Yes, they're already calling in, and let's get to our first caller. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for calling us. Please tell us your name, where you're calling us from, and which of the issues you want to talk to us about today.
Okay. My name is Sani from Wale Wale.
Oh, hi, Sani. I hope you're well.
Yes, madam. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you today?
I monitored your program last night, but it was quite beautiful. So we are doing well.
Thank you.
Keep it up. Yes, and I want to greet my people in Wale Wale. As the former regional minister, who also double as NDC parliamentary candidate, Honorable Abubakar Abdallah, I greet him, and then the NC for Wale Wale. Now, Rabiu Jabbar, sorry, I greet him too. And then, yes, with regard to the fuel, I think that is my concern. And it should be a concern to every discerning Ghanaian, because how the prices are going up, I think that the president must do something about it. Because look at it, the way it is going, if care is not taken, it will lead to transportation, fares hikes. And then once transportation fares go up, it is going to have a cascading effect. On everything, do you understand? It will come down to the ordinary consumer, and that is where they will have a serious problem. So the government must do something. We appreciate what they are doing, because if the cedi was to be around 16 Ghana cedis a dollar, as in the previous administration, I think we would have been paying 20 or even more than that. But they have done well by making sure that the cedi is stable. So what they can do to cushion the ordinary consumer, in fact, is to either come out with a subsidy on fuel, or they take off the 1 Ghana cedis that we've been paying as tax, on a liter of fuel that we buy. So that if they do that, I believe it will go a long way to cushion us some bit, so that later on, when the tensions in Middle East ease, then they can bring the 1 Ghana cedis back. Ghanaians who are defending, okay? So if they bring it back that time, we'll be happy. But one thing that we should also be happy, today too, that, today too, electricity tariffs have also come down, and then water, you understand, came by 4% or so. So we need to commend the government too for doing that. Other than that, the troubles would have been more. But the only way we can have a lasting solution to this is all of us to come out and demonstrate against America and Israel. so that they will stop whatever they are doing. The kind of, wicked thing that they are doing to Iran will stop. If they stop that, I think that we have flow of what? Fuel across the country. Today, all the country, the world, we are now feeling the pinch of what Iran is doing by protecting the vessels from moving from the Strait of Hormuz. So that's why we are all complaining. Yet we don't want to talk about the injustices that the U.S. is meting out to them. So they also want to show that they can also do something. So let us come out and demonstrate all the countries, if they can even call for ordinary meeting, that is the UN meeting, to come out and do the same thing as President Muhammad did. So that I think that it will help a lot. Thank you very much.
It will help a lot, you say. Thank you very much. And thank you for calling us from Wali Wali. We do have another caller on the line. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us on This Morning segment on New Day on TV3. Tell us your name, where you're calling us from.
Beatrice.
Alhaji, good morning to you.
Beatrice, how are you?
Doing very well. Thank you. How are you as well, Alhaji?
I'm also good. Joseph, I hope everything is fine.
I'm very well, Alhaji.
Let me send my greetings to my friend Roland, Kukiti, Nashoko, and my boss, Samuel Ofosu Ampofu, former chairman for NDC, and my municipal chief executive for Savawan, Hussein Alassane Bagaman, and my constituency chairman, Alhaji Alassane Sasa, and Shami Mamuso and Yafa Alhaji Alassane. You see, Beatrice,
yes.
When you look about the fuel prices, I think when we talk about the fuel prices, some filling stations, they have been selling the petrol high more than other stations, because the meter band and you have been putting in the screen, and some places we need to buy 13 Ghana cedis, 30 pesos, is also petrol.
Yes, that's the lowest you can sell the fuel at, yes.
Is it?
That's the lowest, the price floor established.
That's it. So, but some people sell it 14 Ghana cedis, 69 pesos. 14 Ghana cedis, 69 pesos. You see, when you look about the the Super 95 are selling 14 Ghana cedis, 35 pesos. But we thank God. We thank God. When we talk about the governor, this is type of government and want. Because when you look about the past government and they punish Ghanaians and they rise the price high, talk about the Russia-Ukraine war. But Russia-Ukraine did not affect our fuel because of the wickedness. And we have been buying diesel 24 to 25 Ghana cedis in that time. Now, when petrol prices rising and some of the MPP members, they keep on posting it in the social media, saying rubbish, because they don't have campaign message to tell Ghanaians. So I just want to tell MPP they should exercise patience. Maybe things will go well for us. If this war stops, I think we will keep on enjoying like how we enjoy, because during John Drama and Mamota, and we buy the petrol 9 Ghana cedis per liter. If MPP it is in power, and we can buy petrol now, this time we can buy petrol 100 Ghana cedis 1 liter. So when these people talk, I don't know what they think about the country. Country broke or country not broke, we all day inside. So let's pray for the government. Maybe things will go well. May God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation progress and strong. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alhaji, for calling in and for sharing your thoughts with us. But, you know, one of the statements made earlier by our first caller from Wali Wali, talking about the need for government to come in. And I was just remembering the period when we had fuel subsidies and the kind of challenges we had. I mean, the monies that were supposed to be paid and the government not meeting up to expectation and the fuel shortages and all of that. So there is a need to find that balance even in the face of this crisis we have on our hands.
Absolutely. And then there's one other thing that I think the caller was Sunny. There was one other point that he made He made reference to the cedi dollar rate and suggesting that if it wasn't because of how stable the cedi has been in the last couple of months, things could have been worse. He's spot on that, and I'm going to show you right about now. Because we are looking at the top contributors in terms of the pricing formula. When we are fixing the price for our petroleum products, what components are significant in the price makeup? And we see here that the ex-refinery price is 61%. And when you talk about the ex-refinery price, it's mainly influenced by the global market prices and the exchange rate. So very significant. Obviously, global market prices because those are the prices at which we buy the products. And the exchange rate because we are buying the products in foreign currency. We do not buy them in cedi. And so depending on how your currency is performing, and that is how come if you look at the 2020 all the way to 2024 period, when our cedi was not doing too well at all, we had that significant impact taking place. We also see that taxes and levies constitute 21% here. Then the margins that the OMCs and BDCs are allowed to place on it also doing 18%. So the government influence, one would argue, is that, well, if generally the economy is being managed properly and the exchange rate is doing well, then the impact should not be too bad. And we now know that the exchange rate has been relatively stable. So that will tell you that if that wasn't the case, things could have been worse in the face of the rising global market prices. On the other hand, the question that comes up strongly is that we still have the taxes and levies around. And so what do we do about the taxes and levies? Is it high time for us to take some of them off? In fact, during the news morning, one of the stories, the first story, the president, one of the news items that the president spoke, the president was making the point that if this persists, they may have to take some tough decisions, including potentially taking a second look at some of these taxes and levies. Yeah. And so this is one way that government can step in and influence things. Government can decide. You remember not too long ago, they placed 1 cedi per liter on the petroleum product. So government could potentially say that, well, because prices are not as they were at the time that we imposed that 1 cedi per liter, maybe let's take it off.
Yeah,
and that could also
which is the point Aziz even made.
Absolutely. So it's deregulated, but there's the opportunity for us to intervene where we want to intervene, and that is how come government can do that. But we all know that significantly it is the global market price, and that is how come Alaji makes the point that if the war ends, we will not be having this conversation at all. That's an interesting perspective there, but it's a more or less a realistic understanding of what we had. Earlier on too, I was making a point to you about how most of us use petrol, basically petrol, and that is how come sometimes we don't pay attention to diesel prices. Yeah. Yes, it's reflected there in terms of liters. We are looking at 285.5 million tons. That's the consumption of petrol per month, as against 242.4 for diesel. But like I pointed it out to you, this one is bringing a lot of the things, including even the products and everything. So it's less. The price is up. But not many people will be affected, but the impact will be bigger because they are moving all the things that we all use and we all enjoy. So that could also be a big problem as well. And so the impact analysis, basically, when you have the global Brent price going up, plus the freight and insurance and all those issues, then you are lucky your cedi depreciation is down, then the shock will not be too significant depending on how it plays out as well. And so that is the impact analysis that we can do with regards to that. And if you can imagine, if this was also pointing upwards still, that is the cedi. If it was still
would have been paying for 20 cedis plus,
yes, I mean,
and almost maybe 20 for fuel.
For the diesel especially, the diesel especially. So we are very lucky to be in these times, but it's not the best, and something needs to be done about it.
Yes. Well, we do have another caller on the line. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Please tell us your name, where you're calling us from.
Good morning, Beatrice.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is from Zach. I'm Zakaria, but I'm popularly known as Prof. Zach, calling from Bolgatanga.
From Bolga, but I missed your name. Please, would you kindly...
I'm Zakaria.
Zakaria from Bolga. Okay.
Yes,
how is Bolga this morning?
We are doing well.
Zakaria, please share your thoughts with us.
Yes, let me seize this opportunity to say good morning to you. And Akabile, in fact, you are doing very, very well. In fact, the education is going on well. And in fact, you must continue the good works for Mother Ghana to understand what is happening at the global market. And actually, as I'm monitoring you, I've seen Akabile has taken his time and is explaining to Ghanaians about what has contributed to these fuel prices, especially the global trend. And our condition in Ghana here, actually, with the exchange rate, the government is actually doing well. But it's something that can be done maybe with the taxes and levies so that at least maybe something will come down. And I believe in the competence of the finance minister. He will be able to look at it based on our current conditions so that he will do something about it so that at least he will experience the gains or the sustainability that we have seen in the couple of months with the reduction. But I'm happy because like the previous caller said, prices of electricity, water has gone down.
Yes, from today.
Those in the NPP, that is what they were using to talk about when the prices of fuel were down. They say, oh, prices of fuel were down, but our electricity has gone up. But now it is now the opposite. So I believe the government will do well to look at the levies so that at least even the energy levy that has been increased. Let's look at it. Will you go back to Parliament so that they will suspend that one cedi so that at least we'll see some small reduction. At least it will cushion the Ghanaian public. But even what I want to say is that I'm pleading with the transport owners. We are begging them. When there was reduction in fuel prices, we haven't seen them reducing their transport fares. Now that it is going up, you may see that they are likely to say that they want to increase it. We don't want to witness that because if they are going to do that, we also demonstrate against them because they are not being fair to us. What you call the traveling public. Because when there is a reduction and we're supposed to benefit, they were not allowing us to benefit from the reduction. But now that it is going up, we don't equally want them to also increase. They should also allow us to be where it is now, so that we also know that they are being rational with the Ghanaian public. But
all right, thank you very much, Zachariah, calling us from Wonga in the Upper East region. You know, he's making me smile because, you know, recently when we heard about the threat that fuel prices were going to go up, we had GPRTU saying that they were also going to consider increasing prices of transport if indeed prices went up. And Zachariah seems to be warning them ahead of time that they shouldn't even dare increase prices now that we've seen the prices of petroleum
around
products.
This time, they would always tell you about, they will make reference to insurance, they'll say prices of spare parts and all of that. I mean, that's what mostly happens. But I mean, thankfully, we would have a bit more conversation on this particular issue. Hopefully, we'll hear from the National Petroleum Authority. I think the president's comments signals what may be playing on the mind of the regulator and the various people within the chain as to what could be done. I think we find ourselves in a very tight situation, unfortunately. I mean, we've all been enjoying the prices. I mean, for a couple of months now, I barely paid attention to
I mean, you're
the price
not even,
up
you know, you're buying something and you know how long it's going to take you because, you're not too concerned about the cost of it. But obviously, a number of our callers asking the government to consider suspending the one cedi. And I'm just thinking of one of the main reasons the one cedi was introduced, which really was to look at the legacy debt, which was around 3 billion. At the time the government took over, we've heard from the beginning of the year, somewhere January, February, thereabouts, that the government has been able to pay 1.4 billion in terms of the debt. And so if we were to suspend it, have they raised enough money through that already? And what is the likely impact? Because what we don't want to see is to, as it were, piling the debt so we are not able to pay and we get to that stage of not having power, because that's really not a pleasant situation for us. But yes, a number of you have sent in your messages, and if I could just read about 2 or 3 of them. And this is from Mr. Stephen Pen in Wa, Upper West Region, says, good morning, Beatrice Amblay. The fuel prices are still better than the recent past when it was around 17 cedis plus. I wish I could advise Ghana to back out of the World Cup. When is the next new coach going to familiarize himself with the team before the June to July World Cup? Oh my God. Oh my dear, Ghana will be a participant and not one of the teams to watch. You know, I was actually thinking about the coach familiarizing himself with, or perhaps maybe herself, with the team.
That'll be a record. That'll be a record.
Yes. And then there's also Fakakiwa says, my regards to Alhaji Al-Hassan. And he says, Ghana is on reset and 24-hour economy is working as he was sacked around 1 a.m. Okay, so that's talking about the Otuado and saying kudos to the GFA for sacking him for his abysmal performance. He is not fit for purpose. And perhaps I would read this one from Mr. Simon Yen, who says, good morning, Beatrice and Akable. The fuel hike is actually killing, but is it the case that nothing can be done? And quite a long message, but hey, pack up your day at the Milky Way with the rich, smooth taste of peck milk shortcake. It is pure delight, and of course it comes in different flavors, coconut cookies, there's also choco butter and a lot more. So you want to get to any store near you, we call them provision stores, right?
Yes.
Near you and get your peck, and you can take it. I mean, it's a snack, morning, afternoon, day, or if you don't want to take any heavy food, yes, just snack on it. Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. We can take a break now. We'll be right back to have the big issue. Stay tuned in. I just saw the National Petroleum Authority CEO, Eduji Tamaklo, walk into the studio. We'll cross over to the other side. We'll be joined by the other guests who are joining us. The MPP Sawa Mohammed will also join us as well. Solomon Owusu, as always, will be on as well as we have a discussion on all these important matters. Beatrice will go and rest some more. She'll come back later on. Stay tuned in.
Yes, next. Me didn't tum just call you. Impruka. Yeah. Captain Mosquito, double the action.
Looking at the issues surrounding the fuel prices, we brought you all the numbers on this morning's segment before we allowed you to call into the show. We showed you how the global prices look. We gave you a sense of the price build-up, the components, which components are significant, the tax component, the margins, just to paint a picture of what the options look like for government if government intends to intervene and come to our aid. And we made a point quite strongly that, yes, we operate a deregulated market, but there's a role that the state plays in all of this. And last month, just at the latter part, we had a new month actually, we are in April. So when I say last month, I'm referring to March. There was a statement from the NPA that indicated what the floor price should be. And we've seen some of the OMCs so far peg their adjusted price just as the floor price, not going beyond it. We've also seen some of the OMCs go above it as well, all in terms of trying to make up for how the things are looking, and also taking into account their own place within the market space as well, just to make some good money. So all those are matters that would engage our attention this morning. But just to give you a sense of what government is considering, His Excellency the President spoke on this particular matter, and he indicated that if things do not change in terms of the global outlook particularly, then government may consider looking at some of the tax handles that are on petroleum products. Let's take a listen to the President, John Dramani Mahama.
Beginning to enjoy some of the lowest fuel prices in a long time. Unfortunately, they say man proposes, God disposes. I don't know what came into the heads of Trump, Netanyahu, and all of them to start this war. If this had happened when the cedi was at 17, we probably could not have been able to survive. The push factor is coming from the price of crude oil and finished products. We've absorbed it. If this thing continues some more, then we'll have to take some decisive decisions. Some of the weapons we have is to look at the margins to try and cushion consumers, and then also look at the recently imposed 1 cedi development levy to try and cushion consumers.
So yeah, the president there. So what has to do with the recent levy that we all talked about not too long ago. Then also the margins possibility as well, also taking a look at that as well. So those are two options that we can safely say that government is potentially considering. And in all of this and outside of it, we all know the politics of fuel prices. We know the politics of it. We've heard various presidents, various presidential candidates make politics out of fuel prices. Then another dimension to all of this is the global impact and local politics. Again, that is also another heated political matter that we've had over the period. Whether we should safely say that we shouldn't be impacted, we should be impacted. All of that analysis is all part of the conversation that we would obviously expect those around the table with me this morning to make reference to. But we are going to have a conversation around all of this just to understand where we are and what next to do. And thankfully, an interesting panel this morning, as always, on Wednesdays. Godwin Eduji Tamaklo is CEO of the National Petroleum Authority, a legal practitioner as well. I guess the legal practice on hold. Senior, good morning. Thank you for joining us as always.
My brother Blake, good morning. Good morning to Solo, and good morning to Awa and our cherished viewers.
He's introduced you to the other guests around the table as well. So joining us as well, Solomon Owusu, a regular on this belt always. He is the communications director for the United Party in the middle there. His friend Dr. Zato is not around this morning, but his other friend Awal Mohammed is right opposite me. Awal Mohammed is with the New Patriotic Party, a member of the communications team. Awal, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us as always. I think this is the first time I'm meeting you, so nice to meet you.
Yes, that's true. Nice to meet you too. And I think this is the first time I'm also coming back since November 2024.
Oh,
yes. And interestingly, you scheduled me for a Wednesday because I was a regular on Wednesday. So it's just interesting.
It's good to have you back as well. Then maybe I should start with you just to welcome you. I mean,
when you have
prices
have the regulator himself here.
Yes, I want to start with you because I want you have concerns that he would he would deal with eventually. I mean, prices at the pumps have gone up. In fact, some of the OMC started on 31st March. And the question that is being asked
is supposed to be illegal, right?
In terms of the implementation takeoff. Well, we'll delve into all of that. And the question is, how can we protect consumers and stabilize the prices? We've heard from the president. The president gives us a sense of what they may be considering. A takeaway from that potentially is that it means that for now, we may not expect any action by government, because he says if it continues, so maybe a sit and watch approach. From the angle of the New Patriotic Party, what's your own understanding of the fuel economy as we are seeing, and what is happening on the global market?
Thank you so much, and good morning, cherished viewers, and thank you so much for the opportunity. But let me just respond to just a deliberate misinformation by the president, because if you check the video that you played, the president deliberately said that if the dollar was around 17 cedis, it wouldn't really, it would be disastrous for the country. We did not leave dollar at 17 cedis. In the entire 2024, the dollar never got to 17 cedis. We left it at 14.6. So that is the correction I want to make. And
first of all, the president also didn't say that in 2024 the dollar was 17. The president was categorical. There was a time in this country that the dollar went to 17.
Okay, so that was in 2022 when we had Russia-Ukraine. It also did not officially.
So don't say the
Bank of Ghana never projected 17. He lied.
Okay, Mr. Mohammed,
I'm saying.
Just give me a minute. Senior, hold on for me just for a second. Let me welcome into the conversation as well. There's too much fire here. Let's hold on a bit. Dr. Riverson Opon is CEO of COMAC, basically the group that represents, the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies. Dr. Opon, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. I see that I feel the heat already.
You can feel the heat, eh? Yes, Doc, kindly position yourself, and let me start off with you. Already your members. I'll come back to Mr. Mohammed. Dr. Paul, if you could just adjust properly, just go back a little for us so that we can have this conversation. It's fine now. Thank you. Your members have already announced the adjustments. Some have taken effect already, even before today even starting off. From the Chamber's angle, is it fair to say that you didn't have much of a choice given the room that you have to operate, especially the floor price that we know was also announced by the regulator as well?
Yeah, thank you so much. Greetings to my seniors that I'm in the studio now. You can tell that is the first time for a long time that oil marketing companies could not wait for a window to start in order to change prices. And it tells you the heat that we are faring. And for me, in all these conversations that we've been having for the past 3 weeks or 4, it tells me that we as a country have a long way to go. And it's right on this particular studio I mentioned that we might politicize this critical moment, but it goes beyond politics, comparing and distracting will not change anything. We've changed the prices before 1st of April. This is what we need to discuss. The heat is coming. And to be fair, we in Ghana are very lucky. And I'll be honest with you. The price that we saw in the international benchmark price change is not the same heat that we're feeling now. You see 8 to 15% increase, whereas on the international benchmark price has seen about 30% average, So, and in terms of supply security, we are still not bad. But what I'll tell you for sure is that the BDCs are still struggling to price within the selling window, you understand, because of spot outlets. But today I woke up, checked, and I realized that the prices are coming down. However, within a window that we're operating now, I believe, to be fair, the oil marketing companies are giving Ghanaians a very, very fair deal. I'm currently in Nigeria, and I'm telling you, the price here, even though Dangote refinery is here, the price increase is higher than whatever we've seen in Ghana. you know, and then to end, I'll say that the government probably, I mean, I heard the question you asked, whether the government should come in now. I believe that there are talks. I didn't hear the president, unfortunately, but I believe that there will be talks to see if, because if, for example, the additional 1 cedi will be taken out. What I heard yesterday from a very reliable source is that they'll be doing so, because that's the money that is being used to pay for the gas we're using for electricity generation. Okay, and as we speak, Ghana doesn't own ENI any money because of that 1 cedi. So that means very, very, very tough for the government to consider taking that levy off.
I mean, I want us to talk about the floor price. I mean, there's been some discussions around it. We've heard some of your members as well. Maybe a direct question. What is the general sense among your membership on this particular matter?
Great. So let me say that if there's one thing, okay, the regulator, thanks to MPA, has done for the industry, one of the major things that we've seen achieved with dialogue and with constant interaction with regulatory bodies is to the advantage of implementing the price floor. Okay, and I'll tell you that every member of mine is aligned with the price floor, and we understand the importance of keeping the price floor. All right, because in times like this, believe me, you would have suffered. Price war versus, the international hikes in prices would have killed the industry. Okay. Now, when you go to countries like Kenya and Tanzania, the eastern corridor of the African continent, there's no fuel to buy. Kenya declared holiday, work from home because there's no fuel. Ethiopian Airlines is canceling flights because there's no jet fuel. You understand? So, like I said, we need a sustainable industry. And I also give this kind of scenario. We build a traffic light as a regulatory point to direct traffic. So the fact that one person will cross the red light doesn't mean that let's take the red light off and let's move as we want. You know the chaos that we're going to have. Okay? And I always said it. If you take this price off, the price floor off the market, the chaos you're going to see in the market, you have no idea. You're going to call MPA back to ask for the price floor to be brought back. So we are aligned and we want it to be implemented and kept as it is.
But what we are seeing playing out is that those who basically, some of your members who control the market, they tend to go above it nonetheless. Whereas those who still want to get a bit more numbers, they peg it around the price floor. In fact, that's what we've seen from comparing some of the two major marketing companies. That basically, some would argue that it will still mean that the end effect may be the same. I don't know if you get that point.
I do. You see, thanks to history, we all know that the price war between Star Oil and Gold had started before this war. Okay, and we all know the dynamics in a very crazy market like the oil and gas downstream sector. This is what happens when two lions decide to fight. Is the grass cutters and all those small animals that suffer. We have more than 200 oil marketing companies in the country. You understand? Making it very difficult for the smaller ones to survive. We did not implement, and MPA is on the seat, can confirm that we did not implement the price floor to save the smaller ones. Even the big ones, top 5, top 10, top 15, top 20, who control 80% of the volumes in the country, are aligned with the price floor. So we didn't do it for the last 20 or the last 50 who are struggling. I think it's a phenomenon that is there to look at having fuel available, having fuel affordable, and having fuel in a quality medium for the ordinary Ghanaian to purchase. And let me say this: if you don't take care and we make this, a banter, and the MP wakes up one day and say, okay, we are tired of the public, we are taking it off. My brother, what you're going to see in the market, you'll be shocked. Understand? We are talking to our members to consider having a fair price today, because the BDCs are crying with the kind of price that the OMCs are calling for, because they cannot sell at those prices to them. Because when you look at the price floor, it's a cost price. It's just the average price of the market, which we all know. MPA knows the price at which every OMC buys from a BDC. And to sell below price floor, it doesn't just make sense. It cannot be justified economically. That you go and buy a fuel for 10 cedis, you add your tax for 14 cedis and come and sell that 12 cedis. Then are you not going to pay tax, or you're not going to pay the fuel? You understand? We need to pay for the supplies. That's the BDC side. The OMC side also need to pay the BDCs. If I tell you some OMCs who are owing BDCs, you'll be shocked. If I tell you some BDCs who are owing the traders, you'll be shocked. All because of this price war. It is not sustainable. That's what we are saying.
And Doc, finally, because you made reference to the product availability, in terms of your members getting it from the BDCs, how available has the product been, especially in the last 2 months?
Oh, we have not had any issue with product availability. And if we play our cards well with good pricing, or let me say right pricing, we will not be able to find, we're not going to see supply security as an issue in the country. The only time I foresee a supply security in the country is when, now, as we can see, the Asian market is in the Western corridors, looking for fuel from Dangote. The Asian market is now struggling with us in the European market from the same source, because their corridor is affected, right? I mean, their market corridor is affected. So if you're able to get a good price, if you're able to price war, that's our BDCs, then all the source of fuel from those sides will be moving to Asia instead of coming to the Western corridor. But as it stands now, I don't see any eminent supply security issues. With the lens I wear now.
All right, Doc, we'll leave it here for now. I know you have a program this morning in faraway Nigeria. Just tell your members they should hover around the price floor. Let's just be around it for our sake. Thank you very much. Dr. Riverson Opon is the CEO for the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, joining us all the way from Nigeria this morning for this conversation. Sorry, I had to cut you in. Just to keep the fire in check, I think we all have our notepads and everything. Just make use of your time. Any comments, anything, just note it down. We all have chance to have a bite when each person is done, so no problem at all. So, Mr. Mohammed, let's go on.
Great, thank you so much. I still, for Dr. Riverson, my only comment on all the analysis that he had done is that the biggest OMC in terms of market sales and market share and sales is Star Oil. And Star Oil is saying that if you are able to take the price floor, they will be able to sell below the price floor. And this is what they are saying. They have 240 outlets across the country. And until last week, they sell the products more than any other marketing company in this country. But let me just leave that and let's come to the fuel prices that affect you and I very much. But let me still state that in the last 8 years of DMPP administration, there was no day that Bank of Ghana came out with a flyer or a communication to say that the dollar has got to 17 cedis. There was no day. So whether it was even in 2022, whether it was even in 2023, it never happened. So the president did not really paint the right picture. That is what I mean. And this is the fact. You can let your producers check these basic facts. On fuel prices, increments on fuel prices has reverberating effect on cost of living because it drives transport, production, and general consumer goods. So at any point in time, if any government will want to be sensitive enough to cushion its people, you look at the fuel prices and how to peg it. So I believe that with the stability we are seeing on paper today, if really this government wants us to see it happening on the grounds, they should be able to sell fuel at 12 cedis, that is for petrol, 12 cedis or less. and diesel 16 cedis or less. And these are my reasons. One is the Dumsor levy. The Dumsor levy is the single biggest tax on the petrol buildup. It's the single biggest, 1 cedi. And it was imposed in June last year. And today, if they are able to take that Dumsor levy, if you check the prices that per liter that the MPA has released, 13.3. If they take that 1 cedi, it will be 12.3. If you take that 1 cedi from diesel, it will be 16 cedis. So clearly, you know that that draconian tax that was introduced in 2025 June must be really scrapped so that the Ghanaian will get some respite. It is draconian because a government that came and told you that we're going to ease the burden of the Ghanaian, so abolish some taxes. They mentioned e-levy, which is a tax of choice because it is those who send Momo that pay for it, then betting and COVID-19. They were able to take the two in 2025 and COVID this 2026. But when you check the amount of money that these three tax handles give to government, this Dumsor levy alone is bigger than all. This Dumsor levy alone is bigger than all. So you have only created some convenience by taking it out because you said you take e-levy and others out, but you introduce a more draconian tax that every Ghanaian is paying on. And that's the reason we're saying that for now, you have really accumulated enough. So if you really want the Ghanaian to get some respite, the best thing is that try as much as possible to take that one out so that the Ghanaian will feel it at the pump. So it will be like 12 cedis. But I think they can still come down further because the main drivers of these fuel prices at the pump is the exchange rate and the world market price. And you see, you cannot tell us today that because the world market price has moved to over $100 per barrel, so Ghanaians should be able to really take the hit just after it has happened like this. Ghana produces oil and we export. And at the beginning of the year, if you read the 2026 budget, Atufosin projected that we will get 73 per barrel, $73 per barrel. So today, the last time I checked, it's 107. So we have 34 cedis windfall on each barrel that we export from this country. So the government should be able to use that to cushion the consumer. Because in 2022, the minister today, Minister for Energy, John Jinapo, held a press conference to say that indeed, if I had gone to 100, that time the benchmark was 60, we had around 40 windfall. It should be used to really cushion the consumer. That analogy at that time holds water because today they are in government and is the Minister for Energy. So if it has gone up at the world market, we are also exporters of crude. And we're getting 34 cedis per barrel as a windfall, looking at what the benchmark set by Atufosin. So that is the second reason I'm saying that the government should be able to really bring it down, take the hit, use that windfall to offset and help the Ghanaian also get some kind of relief. The third one is the exchange rate. I went to Bank of Ghana. They are yet to release today's rate. And when you check the rate, as of last night, it is 10.9. So it means we have stability there. Against the backdrop that this year, between January and February, we're able to export bill is around $6.2 billion. And import is around 2.5. So we have trade surplus of 3.2 billion. So it means we'll be able to still cushion the exchange rate so that it will be stable. So if it's not insensitivity, why will the government still let us take the hit when indeed this one alone should be able to really help the Ghanaian get some relief?
You've been monitoring the prices. I think one thing we all agree on is the instability. Is it not too early for us to take substantive, drastic actions as against watching it and seeing what it would look like a bit normal and take an action?
No, because you see, before the increase today, we have seen twice. And the only variable they tell us when they did the last one, from 10 to 12, from 12 to 13, is the world market price, the instability in the world market price. And this is just in the last 1 month. You understand? So it means from the day the Iran, US, Israel started, that was the day that Ghanaians started taking the hit. And that is the fact. The regulator is here.
Okay.
You understand? So that's why I mean that if these are the conditions that had helped, definitely it will. Again, when you check the time we were living, we left diesel at around 15.6. Diesel was less than 16 cedis. Petrol was less than 16 cedis. Today, and that time, inflation was around 23 cedis, 23%. Dollar was around 14.6, and world market price was around 80 or so. And we're able to do 15 for diesel. Today, diesel is 17, that is the floor price. So it means at least the government can do something about it. So this one just lasted for only some few weeks. This is about the 15th, the fourth week or fifth week of that war. And we were told by the president that Russia-Ukraine cannot affect Ghana because if you look at the mileage from here to Ukraine, it's around 7,000 kilometers. Same as as Iran. It's also far away from Ghana. So that analogy does not really work. Let's see the stability we are talking about on paper, on the grounds, so that the Ghanaian will feel some relief. Okay. That's what I submit.
Let me come to you, CEO of NPA, Mr. Tamaklo. And earlier on, we showed a bit of the global price and we looked at it from the angle of the regulator, and we heard from His Excellency as well. Do you get a sense that, like the President expressed, that it's still a wait and watch approach, and if this trend continues, then something should be done about it immediately?
Okay, so I think it's only fair that I straighten a few issues. I think the conversation should be structured well so that the discerning viewers and possibly listeners can appreciate what the issues are. So what we need to know is that around 1st to 15th November 2024, and I want to use 2024 as a benchmark. If you went to the international market and you needed to buy a liter, so a metric ton of diesel, you need $666.38. $666.38 to get 1 metric ton of diesel. By the second window, because of the window connection, 16th to 30th November 2024, you needed $666 to buy 1 metric ton of diesel. But even at that time, on the 4th of December 2024, at the time when a metric ton was selling for 666.61, a liter of diesel was going for 15.80 Ghana cedis. In fact, that's December 4th. In fact, if you look, Bamia in going for the flag bearership contest said, even him as flag bearer, he didn't know that fuel prices were going to be increased 3 days to the election. So that's a matter of public record. So on 4th December 2024, even though a metric ton of diesel was just $667, we're selling diesel for 15.80. Joy News, Joy Business is online. You can even check. Now, it's also important to make this point. Before the war, a metric ton of diesel was going for 695, higher than it was by 2024. It's important. These numbers I'm giving you for a good reason. So, before this war, a metric ton that was 667 in 2024 has now gone up to $700 per metric ton. However, petroleum products at the pumps were selling below 15.80 as of 2024, December 4th. That's the record. This record, you can't do anything about it. Now, what has driven, even though a metric ton, the price of a metric ton, as at that time, is simply because of the better management of the exchange rates. We can do our politics, but the fact is the fact, because you can't change the facts. In fact, by December, petroleum prices have come so low that they were selling even below 10 Ghana cedis at a point in this country. That's the record. You can't do anything about it. Now, guess what? Today, as we speak, do you know the price of a metric ton? Do you know the price?
When we did it per ton, it was more than 100.
You are talking about
when we did it per
barrel.
Ton, yes,
you are talking about barrel. You see, we don't go and buy barrels. We buy the refined product. So that's the proper analysis you need to do. So before the war, you were doing 695.94. You understand? Today, as we speak, it is $1,425.27 for every metric ton of diesel. Now, when you do all of this, there's something they call within the traders, the supplier's premium. Usually, the supplier's premium is determined insurance, cost freights, the issues about vessel availability and others. Before the war, do you know the premium? $20. $20. Today, as you speak, do you know the premium? It's $170 to $200. That's the premium you are paying, from $20 to $200. And you come and sit here and say, what? I personally, I don't, I respect my brother, but he has never been part of any decision making. What they do is to prepare the notes, he speaks to it. No. So he can sit here comfortably and say, you know what, and this one, do this. He's never been part of decision makers. He doesn't even know what goes into the decision making.
But before your appointment, you were not
please.
He also espoused it. So he cannot really say that.
We all agree that we're going to make notes. Hold on for me. Yes,
you were saying a lot. I just decided to write.
Right.
You see, the most important thing that we should all acknowledge is the fact that the dynamics have changed. The price for metric ton has doubled. In fact, from 695.94 to 1,425.27. Twice has the price at the pump doubled before the war and now? No. Why? Because the Ghana cedi and its management has cushioned the full impact. You can't run away from that. So So you can do your politics. And look, as for petrol politics, I grew up in a situation where ministers of finance were the ones announcing petroleum prices. I remember growing up, Richard Kwampe, Honorable, you announced, our parents would be sitting by the radio, GBC 1, GBC 2, to just hear the price. And that would be it. The situations have changed. I saw J.H. Mensah in 2000 election holding a gallon of petrol. Petrol we have seen things in this country. But today, we have a situation where even regardless of the conflict there, we should be paying twice the amount. And like I said, as for these numbers, you can easily check. The BDCs are there. You can speak to them after this. Ask them whether supply a price of a metric ton has not averaged between 1425.27. It's easily verifiable.
Okay. So
but let me do this. You see, I had the conversation that, oh, you can do this, you can do that, you can do that. First of all, we gave a justification for the 1 Ghana cedi. We took over energy sector that was completely run down. Facts. The debt of ECG alone is a matter of public record. You can't debate it. It has not been contested. The debt of ECG. The debt owed the independent power producers has never been contested. In fact, at a point, out of the reckless mismanagement of the economy, the World Bank guarantee provided for the Tain field, we have run it down. Record. Recklessness. We've tolerated all this before. Do you know something? President Mahama, in his vision, in 2015 December, set up what is known as the Energy Sector Levies Act, ESLA. In the ESLA is what is called the Price Stabilization Fund. So that, and if you read the original ESLA Act, it says that the reason for the Price Stabilization Fund is to accumulate some fund that in times of crisis, you can use that money to cushion the impact. Do you know what the MPP did with that money? 1st November 2022, and when I could, I give you the number. First window, we're selling petroleum product at 23 Ghana cedi. Diesel is sold 23 Ghana cedi. Yeah. At that time, we had the Price Stabilization Fund.
Which date are you talking?
1st November 2022.
It was 23.49.
23.49. Good.
And it's lasted for 15
days. Please. That's the record. Whether it lasted for a day or 14, 15 days, we sold for 23.40. That's the record. At that time, when we're selling, do you know the exchange rate? 17.20. That's the record President Mahama talked about.
That's not correct.
You can't run away. These are data. In fact, if you go on CTFM now, the dollar at a point was selling for 17.20.
But not Bank of Ghana. Bank of Ghana never sold 17. Never.
You see, we have the opportunity. And let me make the point. The Price Stabilization Fund that was supposed to be used to cushion, they came and set up what is known as ESLA PLC and decided to borrow Eurobonds using the ESLA receivables. So the Price Stabilization Fund that was supposed to use to mitigate the harsh impact, we have mortgaged it to our debtors. Now you come and sit when their debt commitment, who signed the dubious DDEP? The most horrendous thing ever to happen to savings of Ghanaians was a domestic debt exchange program. Even Achampong, who did Yentuya, never got to the point where ordinary Ghanaian savings would be taken from them. It had never happened in the history of this country.
Okay.
We went through that. Today, as we speak, there are commitments. We've tied our hands. Today, as we speak, the price stabilization and others that you could use, you decided to take ESLA bonds, and guess what? They told the bondholders that will repay their bonds by 2035. They want us to default. Then they will say, oh, President Mahama has defaulted. Any proposal from an MPP person, look at it with circumspection. Remember, in this country, they've even advised us to go and borrow to give cocoa farmers. So that immediately you do that, maize farmers will be on your neck. Immediately you do that, poultry farmers will be on your neck. So you must always treat with caution any therapy advanced by our friends. President Mahama, in a very candid conversation, very candid, he said, look, we have the benefit of checking how this scenario will go. And that if it becomes very critical, as a government, we will consider reviewing and doing reassessment of levies and taxes that have been imposed. That, for me, is a very fair, candid proposition that the president and the father of this country has said. Let nobody take this for granted with respect. If today, a metric ton, as we speak, has doubled from 6,959.4 to 1,425. What it means that if you put the entire impact on us, we should be buying diesel twice the value. Are we buying it so? No, simply because the Ghana cedi has absorbed the potential impact. And look, there's one thing I like about the Ghanaian. The ordinary Ghanaian is very discerning and sympathetic to government cause. Remember that even when we imposed the 1 Ghana cedi on petroleum products, we never saw petroleum product the value that we took the MPP onto this geopolitical conversation.
So, as far as you are concerned, we are not at that critical stage yet.
Like the president pointed out, the president, you see, the president has a better briefing. I will do my part, finance will do their part, all other sectors will give their, and he does all the analysis. And from what he is saying, he's looking at it, and if you watch the video you played, he made it very clear that if it gets to the point where government would have to intervene, he will not hesitate at all to make things easier for our people. That's a fact. But we cannot, in the midst of politicking, lie. If you sold petroleum products and you bought it at $660 per metric ton, and even that, you were selling it at 15.8 Ghana cedi per liter, because the exchange rate was then doing 15 to 14. Today, the exchange rate is doing 10.5, 10.7, 10.8. And that is what has shook the pressure.
I'll come back to you.
We won't take any lesson on competence from you people, with respect.
I'll come back to you, Mr. Tamakule, shortly. Emenit, you have some reactions?
Okay, I was thinking you would go solo before me. Okay, no problem. So one is that he, with his competence and everything that he is part of decision making, he couldn't contradict a single thing that I said here. Not even one. I mentioned the Doomsday levy and why it should be removed and why it is draconian. He never addressed that. Two is that I mentioned the barrel and the amount of money we are getting as a windfall from our export. That he also did not do that. I don't need to be at the boardroom to understand these facts, because before he went to that boardroom, he was discussing fuel on this table. Whereas that is one. Two is that he talked about energy debt. My goodness. Kufuor bequeathed to you $950 million in 2009. When you were living, it was $2.5 billion. Today, as we left in December 2024, we left 3.1. Now, the question of ESLA PLC and so on. You see, when we came, we did not only inherit 2.5 billion. We inherited take or pay agreements that is committing this government to pay, government of Ghana, to pay over $500 million annually
Fake news.
By 2019, we gave car power $367 million.
Okay.
In something that we did not even use. Okay. Idle plants. So that is the reason we had to set up, because we came and at VRA alone, the debt there was over 10 billion Ghana cedi.
Okay.
We had to get this ESLA PLC to get the money so that we'll be able to keep the electricity on for the entire 8 years.
All right. Let me come to Mr. Usuna and Solo. Where do you stand on all of these matters?
Can I stand as an opposition party when I've come and do a constructive criticism? And you bring our to come and dilute the whole situation? It worries me, because you see, when the MPP speaks, it makes matters confusing, and people begin to wonder whether we are doing serious politics. With the very issue he landed on, you are claiming that the finance minister projected $107, and it has gone beyond that, so there has been a gap, and that gap must be used to what? Cushion this. Forgetting that we have bought fuel 23.49 cities in this country in 2022. Now, in 2022, if he's going to go back to, he wasn't even in the MPP, so a lot of the things that the MPP did, he does not even understand.
In 2022,
I am referring you back to the 2022 budget of the MPP, what the finance minister then, what his projections were. He had projected that we were going to buy diesel, or we were going to sell it at $61. We ended up selling it at $80. Per your own analysis, why did he not use the gap to even the savings to cushion? To the extent that we had to buy fuel at 23 cities at 0.49 at the pump. Sometimes when you are speaking, you don't listen to yourself. So look, I will be the last person to advise President Mahama to remove the levy. He must not touch it. Where we are is a temporary measure. It's something that will not go that far. I can tell you that if you're a political pundit or a political party and you make any attempt to do politics with it, you'll be disgraced. Because what I see is that oil prices will fall drastically after this whole confusion. So where would you be in those times? It's going to happen. If you are following carefully what is happening, it will happen. Because the world will not be cajoled or be hoodwinked into something that will destroy the entire world's economy. So it will come down. We must also go back to why the levy itself was brought. Your party left a whooping $3 billion with IPPs. Chop. They didn't do anything. They just chopped. They took money and squandered it. And the Ghanaian has to pay for it. I didn't enjoy part of it. I have been called upon to pay for it. I have not even complained. You that supervise together with Dr. Mahmoud Baumia and Nana Akufo-Addo, you are now telling us that we should go and remove something that is paying for your money, the money that is in your pocket, that you should have been rounded up by now. We should stop. The last time the finance minister told us that he has paid about 1.47 billion out of the 3 billion. What I want from the finance minister is to tell us when we are going to finish paying, so that deal, until it is paid, they must not remove it. Either than that, we will continue to experience. Remember, they said we're going to use it to pay the IPPs, as well as buy fuel to power the various thermal plants. So if you remove all these, do we prefer sleeping in darkness or having electricity? How does that help in your industrialization agenda? Especially a party that has told us that they are coming to implement what we call 24-hour economy. Then you would have even defeated the entire government's, programs. Now, this is what I wanted to ask Reverson. From a business point of view, I'm confused with certain things. And I think that maybe EDG can help, because for me, when you are dealing with a commodity like crude or petroleum, we have what we call spot sales and also futures. Now, are these BDCs telling me that the oil that they are buying today is what is going to be in our pumps at the various filling stations, for which reason we have to pay for it? Now, we must also ask, and I wanted to intervene for you to ask him, that when they buy the crude or the finished product, how long does it take to get to Ghana? if it takes 3 weeks, if it takes 4 weeks, it means what we are being served now are the products that they bought with the low rates. So on what basis am I paying for this? We need full disclosure in that regard. Because I would be extremely surprised that oil-producing countries like the Saudi Arabia, like the Oman, like the Kuwait, will be relying on spot price sales. How do you plan for your country? They mix it at times, but majority of the occasions, they do forward sales so that they can plan for their revenues. And if they are doing forward sales, on what basis are we giving this? So it's something that I'll leave it with you, the media houses. You may have to let them explain to us. If they buy the crude today, let's say today's world market price is 110. It will get to Ghana like 2 or 3 weeks. Is that not the case? So when it gets to Ghana, per their logic, and the rate, the international world market price has dropped to 60, it means they are going to sell something that they bought at a higher price at a lower price to us.
But should that not be in the mind of the regulator when they are doing the floor price? Because basically, if you pick, and we can be specific now, yes, they are basically at the floor price now. So yes. I mean, if they are fixing the floor price, they should be looking at that play out and decide
you see, it's a business decision. They are taking advantage of the NPA's policies. And what I'm saying is that from where I say, just like our cocoa, when we were doing futures, so let's take cocoa as a typical example. That the mere fact, if we sold our cocoa at the beginning or before the commencement of the season, I say 2,600, as it happened in 2023. And then the world market price at the point was 11,000. It didn't mean that Ghana was enjoying the 11,000 or the $9,000 per ton. Because we were selling ours, we are engaged in an agreement that pegged our price at what? 2,600. So regardless of the price on the international market, we will be paying 2,600. That is what mostly happens with the BDCs. So they must be doing a full disclosure. Either than that, we must empower BOSS, because the reason why BOSS is also there is to be storing enough energy. I think we don't have enough storage. Either than that, if we had a storage that could last us for more than 3 months, I tell you that we would not feel it. Now, you come back to the issue that my brother wanted to start with. Yes, the president was right. If the exchange rate was 17, we will be buying it at a higher price.
$30.
Because look, he quoted, it
was 14.3 at that time.
At what? When was that?
2022. Yes,
it's a lie. It was 16.42. According to the Bank of Ghana.
Which Bank of Ghana?
Bank of Ghana. I'm telling you, I'm sitting here saying which Bank of Ghana.
You come here with your figures who can cross-check. That's all.
You say what? 2022 to 14 cities. It's a palpable falsehood.
Now, saying that check from Bank of Ghana.
You see, you do a simple mathematics. See, he just told you that they ended the year, that is 2024, with a letter of diesel going at 15.30.
As at 4 December 2024.
So 15.30. At that time, the international world market price of crude was $73. Do a simple mathematics.
And in fact,
exchange rate was 15.11.
A metric ton
yes.
of diesel was 6666.
Yes.
0.28.
No, that's why you wouldn't understand. Let me even go by the crude that he understands. You understand? If at $73, we were buying crude at 15.3, simple proportion, at today's rate, if you take it at 110, we should be buying per the exchange rate at 22 cedis.
Yes.
So if the president says that, look, it is as a result of the prudent management of the economy, it's a fact. You see, we must begin to do politics of honesty. It doesn't hurt to come here and spew truth. Again, his reference to Russia, Ukraine is untenable.
But they stopped the war in Russia, Ukraine.
They still going.
No, the war has stopped.
No, the last time I raised the year, cried. You see, the truth of the matter is that you go and
went ballistic.
We will be sitting somewhere, not talking about Russia, Ukraine, and from nowhere, unprovoked, and you go and bring a matter that led you to your nemesis. In this country, we have never discussed, we have never used external or exogenous factors in doing our politics. Until Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia in 2015 introduced this into our political lexicon. That how can exogenous factors bypass Cote d'Ivoire, bypass Burkina, bypass Mali, and only attack Ghana? That was when we heard all these things. So when you started citing Russia, Ukraine, then people say, but you have said that it can never affect Ghana in any way. And so why this time? Then you turn it around and say that, no, you have said that it's far off. No. We have said if you have any policy, bring it. We have better policies. For instance, in the energy sector, we believe in equity, using debt as an equity. You know the IPPs that we owe them. We believe that we must use their debt as equity in the ECG so that they all manage it together. Then we have no business of paying any or putting any levy on our crude or our fuel, so that when they are managing it, they will not be engaging in extravagant life. They will not be engaging in procurement that is increased by a factor of 150%. Then you will be making a headway. Okay. Again, we believe that those that looted that sector, they must not be left off the hook. It's very important. We cannot be told by the former board chair, Afenyo Markins, that at the ECG is very normal to take cables away. And he still be walking around talking without being investigated. We let him show us how people stole it, and those that were involved as a board chair. We cannot have that happen to us.
Okay. Let me come to you, CEO, just briefly on this issue. I mean, the numbers and everything. For the ordinary Ghanaian, what they've seen in the last multiple windows is that the prices have gone up.
And you see, like I pointed out, look, never underestimate the intelligence of the ordinary person. They appreciate when government is doing something. Look, for all the time that we introduced the one Ghana city, petroleum price never got to the point that we pick from the NPP. The ordinary person appreciates. They appreciate that for 13 good months, they enjoyed very good petroleum prices, even with the one Ghana cedi. But for this intervention that we are seeing. But like my brother pointed out, maybe the NPP has structured its politics on getting Donald Trump and whoever to keep this war until God knows, maybe when Christ will come. But you see, like they did with Cocoa, they started the politics. Then Ivory Coast came in. Then we saw that no, this one, even if you were the one in, there's nothing you can do. Then now they move to Mahama Odeyeka. They have opened the whole conversation into talent discovery, where very serious national issues are reduced into, getting people to turn serious national conversation into something for the purposes of trade. Let me say this, and to the ordinary person, there are two things. When you have a crisis of this nature, not having the product available, and two, the price. Today, as we speak, if you watch the international news, India is struggling with prices, long queues. During Russia-Ukraine war, there was no such thing. Today is a unique one, because even though there was Russia-Ukraine, the Strait of Hormuz was open.
Yes.
So product could move. The last time we came close to anything was 1972. 1972, during the oil crisis.
Anything shortage?
Like this level.
Shortages like this.
Like this level was 1972. So what we must all appreciate, and the ordinary person appreciate, is the fact that as we speak, the ordinary person appreciate that he can still go regardless of the price and get product at the pump. That's no doubt. And let me assure you further that we have enough diesel in the country for 7 weeks. Beyond the 7 weeks, we have scheduled vessels right from now to the 19th of April. Almost one of them carrying 42,000 metric tons, 37,000 metric tons from now to April 19th. So like, you know, Riverson said, in terms of product availability, we have no problem whatsoever with it. That assurance I want to give to the ordinary person.
All right.
Look, do you know, this morning I was watching CNN, and then they turn out, even the cost of freight, aviation, fuel, had moved. I was just watching and I realized that today in the United States of America, what they call it, petrol or whatever they call it, it's now going for almost $4.55 in the US. It was just $2. And so what it tells you is that what is currently happening, at least in this country, the full impact, which would have been between 22, 23, 24, 25, the Ghana cedi and its management has dampened, has mitigated the full impact of it.
Okay.
Just imagine for a minute, having these people who today are pontificating, you know, on esoteric economic theories, managing this economy at 17, 16, or 15 Ghana cedi to the dollar. There would have been hell.
The last time we experienced shortages at the pumps was in 2014. This is a fact, and that was under Mahama. That is one. That is one. Two. In the entire 8 years of our administration, there was no shortage.
There was product.
So it is not an issue in this country.
It was the IPC.
It was even today. What you have disagree with is for the BDCs and not the government. How much is the government?
What are you saying?
I'm saying that what we have in reserve today for the private people, largely the private people imported them.
For 8 years, they were owned by government.
So that is why I'm saying that. It is
no, for 8 years it was
for you to tell us that, for you to say that, well, there will not be shortage and so on. It has never been an issue in the 8 years of our administration. That last time shortages became an issue was in 2014 when you were in government, and that was Mahama Fest. That is one. Two is that they are talking as though that indeed they have done any magic. Today, the dollar that you are really touting that you have held it, you've strangulated it, it is anchored on gold. The gold that will be bequeathed to you. So gold, and this is a fact. No, I'm coming. Yes.
There was no gold.
Yes, because gold was never used as a reserve until 2023 when we started, let's push and buy gold. I'm coming. Why will you allow him to interrupt me when he was... No. When I was also trying to clarify something from you. When I was also trying to clarify something from you, you never allowed me. You never allow me to clarify.
Go ahead.
I'm saying that the gold that we bequeath to you, 30.1 tons that we bequeath to you, today you have sold it and shot up the dollar. Today we have less than 20. And you are telling us that we should clap for you because the gold we bought, kept it at Bank of Ghana. You've sold it because now gold has gone up to the extent that it has never gotten that stage. And you only sold it, brought it back, push it to cushion the city. And you are telling us that we should clap for you.
No, are you suggesting that they should not have done that? Is that what you're suggesting?
What I'm saying is that the thinking that went through, let's shift from dollar reserve to gold by Dr. Baumia in 2022 was that at a point like this, when we have a lot of pressure, we can sell that gold and make it and show up our city. And that is the reason. Yeah, because we were accumulating. No, it was we were doing accumulation. You understand? We were doing the accumulation and we were able to accumulate it. You see, when I say, to respond to Solo, when I say that indeed there is a windfall from our export in crude, in 2022 when the current energy minister espoused that theory, we said it was practically impossible. He said no. He stood in Parliament, held a press conference, and told us that we were projecting to get 61, and it had gotten to around 80. So the windfall there should be able to cushion the consumer. And I'm saying that, brought in that analogy because
the same person who espoused that theory in 2022 is the same person who is the finance minister, who is the energy minister today. And the windfall we're experiencing today is even bigger than them. So why can't we use it to cushion?
Okay.
That's what I mean.
So now you have the final word.
Baomianomics states that when you have a gold reserve at the Bank of Ghana and you can sell to cushion or stabilize your dollar, don't sell it. Keep it.
No, and the IMF conditionalities were supposed to get to a threshold. And we got to that threshold in November. And that was the reason at that time, the Governor Bank of Ghana said that we could even bring the dollar to 10 cities.
You people will let Dr. Bambia get a high blood pressure.
Because at that time, we were able to accumulate enough to be able to sell.
Your party sent you here to come and do a beautiful job. You come and expose your candidate. That your candidate says that you may have gold reserves there to sell it. And that gold reserves could stabilize our city. But Dr. Mahmoud said, we won't sell it. And that you will let Ghanaians suffer to the extent that crude oil price or price per liter of diesel will move up to 23.49. Keep quiet and let me talk. You see, you have come to destroy. Already the man is destroyed. You have come to finish it.
Mr. Mohammed.
He has finished it.
Mr. Mohammed.
You don't even understand what you're talking about.
Finish for me. It's when you have it, don't sell it to cushion the Ghanaian. Keep it.
No.
That is the point. But the truth of the matter is that I'll end by saying
not an IMF program?
That going forward,
yes, because they have
my suggestion to this administration is that
we were doing intervention of 10 million, you were doing 1 billion.
You couldn't think outside the box.
My suggestion is that Africa Continental Free Trade Area must be taken seriously so that we begin to do business amongst ourselves. I have heard a number of African countries now signing agreements with Dangote Refinery. It's good that all the countries in Africa that are producing oil, we come together so that when there's any issue on the Strait of Hormuz or anywhere it may be, we will not suffer that much. Secondly, it pays to manage your currency very well. Remember where we are, we have gone to worse states than today. In 2008, somewhere July, world market price of crude rose to 147. But because at that time, the cedi to the dollar was 1 to 1.02, we were buying a liter at 1 cedi. It tells you how the management of a currency can help you have some respite. And that is what we will continue to encourage this administration to do, and not to listen to very diabolic minds like Awal and his flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Baobia, who would have gold and know that when they sell the gold, we will have dollars, and the dollars will stabilize our city, and say that, look, we will never do it. We will put you people through problems, and then people will die out of it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Just 30 seconds.
Just 30 seconds.
Just 30 seconds. You see, let the record reflect this. Through innovation, thinking outside the box, President Mahama set up the Gold Board. Do you know that in 1 year,
from precious marketing
gold
to Gold Board,
repatriation, forex repatriation alone into the country in 1 year amounted to $10 billion. Do you know how they were getting forex in the past? Eurobond.
Yes.
And so in 6 years, we did $11 billion of Eurobond alone. We have been in power for close over 1 year. Not $1 in Eurobond. But we kept things here. Okay. Simply because people have decided to think outside the box and also diversify our gold reserve. Listen carefully, that diversification was what was lost on them. So they were keeping the gold. Today, as we speak, you said our gold reserve had come down. Because today, by September, all the mining companies will give us close to 12 to 16, metric ton. We are back to the same position.
Okay.
So the opportunity is there. So what exactly do you want to do?
You're buying it higher.
And you know,
I don't know where the theory is coming from.
my learned friend, you know, the problem is that, you see, Bawumia is looking back. He is having a moment. I wish I had done it.
But the man is destroying the
it is this I wish I had done it.
Okay.
That is what is creating desperation and fear. But you see, it is too late. You got 8 years. And listen to me carefully. Our friends in the MPP will tell you, Bawumia is the most popular vice president. Bawumia is the most hardworking. In all the wisdom that God gave him. Regrettably, he never for a minute remember that if you diversify our gold, you can. Oh, please.
What's the goal? Who out of the goal?
For what?
That's all time would allow us this morning for the discussion segment. My guests this morning have been Ediji Tamaklo. Ediji Tamaklo is CEO of the National Petroleum Authority. Solomon Owusu is Director of Communication for the United Party. Awa Mohammed is with the New Patriotic Party. Join us in the studio as well. And Big Issue, as always, is sponsored by the University of Gold Coast. And whether you are aiming for a specialist MBA in marketing, communication, operations, supply chain, human resource management, finance, entrepreneurship, innovation, or business intelligence analytics, or you want to advance through our dual MBA or Chartered Manager MBA, University of Gold Coast gives you options that match your vision. And if your next step is an MSc in International Relations Communication, International Marketing, International Law, Security Diplomacy, Accounting, Finance, or Human Resource Management, an LLM in International Law, Security Diplomacy, or an MA in Biblical Studies, Practical Theology, the pathway is open. April admission is now open. You can apply today because at University of Gold Coast, we make it practical, flexible learning, flexible entry, and flexible payment. You can study around your work and life and choose a route that fits your background and also pay in convenient installments as well. Your dream deserves structure. Your future deserves strategy. Your purpose deserves training. You can apply at www.ugc.edu.gh or you can call or WhatsApp 026-388-855. University of Gold Coast, building leaders for the nations. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk some sports. Who is the next Black Stars coach? All those questions will be answered by the sports team, and they'll point us to how things are looking. Thank you very much for joining us for this segment. We'll be right back.
Yes, Easter is here and something sweet is waiting for you. Imagine waking up to 30,000 Ghana cedis. Just like that, TV3 Cash Out is making it possible. All you have to do, dial *439# now. Choose option 8 MG Jackpot. Only 10 Ghana cedis per ticket. The more you play, the closer you get to your breakthrough. This Easter, no stories, no excuses, just winning. Take your chance and thank me later. TV3 Cash Out, powered by Radio Entertainment, approved by NLA on the Caritas platform.
How may I help you today?
We'd like to open a bank account.
Sign here, sign here, sign here, and here. And now you draw direction to your house. I need your thumbprint. And I'll need your birth certificate too. No, I need the original.
A lot has changed since you banked like this. So have we. We've made it easier than ever to open an account online and bank on the go through our mobile app, online banking, and more. EcoBank, a better way to bank your way.
Sign here, and here.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
In Ghana, our gold is more than a resource. It's our pride. And at Gold Ball Jewelry, we celebrate that pride every day with craftsmanship that reflects who we are as Ghanaians. Introducing the Gold Ball Board Jewelry Gold Tablet. Pure, certified, proudly Ghanaian gold. The best part, when you buy a Gold Board Jewelry Tablet, you own it. You keep your gold with you, not with us. It's more than a jewelry. It's a smart investment for every Ghanaian who wants to secure their future. Gold Board Jewelry Gold Tablet. Own your gold. Own your future.
Let me explain why Nee never got home after work. This is a 50 kilometers per hour zone, but speeds beyond the limit. Because of his speed, he is unable to stop when the lights turn red. And this is the end result. Let us review this scene with a change in one thing: the traveling speed. If the rider had been riding at a lower speed, had more time to react to avoid the crash. 10 kilometers per hour can make a difference between
And you're still here on Newday on TV3. It's time for sports. The Bilation is here. Hi, Bill.
Hi, Beatrice.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm good. We've ended Ghana month. Now we are back to suits and
yes, we are
corporate.
back to suit and
so
tie.
This is not chic by Siba, is it?
No, this is not chic by Siba.
Oh, okay.
It is by Celebrity Style Boutique.
Hey. Oh, yeah, hey. Every day there new one name. Wow, must be nice.
Yeah. Charlie, we are still not in a good mood because of the Black Stars.
Yes, unfortunately.
But I know the GFA boss has been talking, perhaps surrounding the circumstances of the dismissal of Otuado and the rest. So what can you tell us about what he's been saying?
Yes, the GFA president, Keto Kraku, did speak to 3 Sports exclusively, Michael Otieje in Germany, talking about the circumstances leading to Otuado's sacking. Talking about how difficult it was personally for him to do it because they've built very good working relationships since 2022, but the new direction was needed, especially after a poor run of results, which included 4 consecutive losses in friendly games in the past 5 months. And so here are some of the words of Kurt Okraku, speaking exclusively to 3 Sports.
Describe for me the kind of last 24 hours that you've had as GFA, Ghana Football Association president.
Well, I think that it's been a period of 2 phases, I would say. One phase, me watching Ghana play against Germany and putting up a decent performance. And another phase, me having to say bye-bye to a coach I've worked well with for a while. So it's been shall I say that it's been a tough 24 hours, but that's life.
How tough did you have the conversation with Otto about the dismissal face-to-face yourself?
Yes, I did. Obviously, once I employed him, I'm also responsible for everything that is connected to his job. So,
how tough was that meeting?
As human as we are, I mean, and having worked since 2022, we've had a good working relationship, but at the end, as leaders as we are, it's always important for us to look at ourselves in our faces and speak about issues that concern us and how we can progress as individuals and as a collective.
What point did you come to the decision? Because I've had a lot of private conversations with you and conversations on the record like this, and if there's one thing that runs through both streams of conversations, is your unyielding conviction that Otto could easily become Ghana's version of Anya. You see, say, Eric Graggy and theirs. At what point did you decide that this was not working?
So first of all, I would say without being proud, with all humility, that I'm a leader who is dynamic. I'm a leader who is honest to issues around me. And I'm a team player, which is most important. And I think that when you're leading the team, you may have your strong opinions about the issues, but there are moments that you need to listen to the team for the greater good of our country. And at this moment, we thought it's Ghana first, and we have to go in a different direction.
What did you see that convinced you about this?
I don't know whether it's about what did I see or what did I hear, or perhaps both. I've seen Otto work over time since we engaged him. I've heard millions of comments. I've seen him prepare the team for games. I've seen the last 4 or 5 games that we have played. I've seen the group, I've seen the executive committee discuss the games that we have played. And I've also heard about our shared vision for the World Cup. And I thought that it was time for us to look at another direction for our common vision.
Katakweku there giving us just a bit of really details surrounding the sacking of the coach Otuado. I'm sure there's more that will be playing later.
Yes.
But beyond this, also, of course, we are all working towards the FIFA World Cup, right?
Yeah.
There are some playoffs coming up?
Yeah, the playoffs are now done.
Okay.
All 48 slots have officially been filled. And I'm going to run you through some of the results of that. One crucial one is that of DR Congo, who have qualified to the World Cup. They defeated Jamaica by a 1-0. It's the first time they've qualified to the competition since 1974.
Ooh, that's how many years?
Yeah, that's like 52 years.
Wow.
And at the time, they used to be called Zaire. So they went under a different name. And so it's a very big achievement for them. Very, very significant.
The coach needs some extra cash.
Oh, of course. I mean, 52 years, you've had to wait for over 5 decades, and you now secured a place in the World Cup. It's really, really, really huge. And it's good for African football, because now we have 10 African countries who will be playing in the World Cup.
But it also tells you about the determination of the team perhaps itself and the nation that I think we waited for too long. We need to get moving.
Indeed. And I think it would be a way to propel them to even build their squad further, because they needed to get some dual nationals in to help them in their campaign. Now they will look a lot more attractive to dual nationals who have ties to DR Congo, and then they'll be able to bring them in.
Yeah, I hope that by 10 a.m. you give us a bit more detail, because for a team that hasn't qualified for a long time, it means that financial challenges, other stuff, and how they were able to go through to get to this stage.
Yeah, a lot of planning, and a lot of sacrifices came into it, and the understanding that they needed help from outside, and they managed to get some of those players in to help them in their campaign. So they should be proud of themselves. They should be proud of how far they've come.
Yeah.
And I hope to see them perform actually very well in the World Cup.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing them as well. NBA, my Los Angeles Lakers.
Yes.
Is that how they call themselves?
Yeah. They defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers last night. And Luka Doncic was on fire as usual, scoring 42 points as well. And then LeBron James also set a record for most wins in the NBA, 1,229 wins, surpassing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in there. And the Lakers have officially secured their place in the NBA playoffs. And so we'll see them in the playoffs where they would fight for the championship itself. But I think this season they've been really fantastic. Their last 17 games, they've actually won 15 and lost 2. Wow. So they are a team really, really that is on form.
Yeah, what else do we need to know?
Of course, we are still building up to the 2026 World Cup, and we'll also be giving you further updates on who will potentially become the Black Stars coach. So do check out all our social media platforms at 3 Sports GH, and also on the website at www.3news.com/sports.
Does it look like we'll go for somebody who's already coached the team before?
I feel personally that an interim coach will be selected. All the names have come up, like Kwesi Appiah, who has had 2 stints in the past. We have Hervé Renard, who is very well sought after. We have Walid Regragui, who was former Morocco coach, very, very solid coach as well. I think for now it will be an interim coach. I'm sort of looking at someone who is already in the team right now. There are 2 options. There's Winfred Schaefer, who is technical advisor of the team.
Yeah.
There's Desmond Ofer as well, who happens to be an assistant coach of the Black Stars. I feel for now and until the end of the World Cup, we might see one of those 2 actually handling the team.
The expectations will be huge. But thank you very much, Billy Shan, for bringing us the latest in sports.
All right.
And of course, Bill is back with the team at 10 a.m. with all the latest on the sports front. Well, it's a beachcation this Easter holiday. Just create unforgettable memories at the beach with family and friends by booking our all-inclusive 3-night package from 3rd to the 6th of April 2026, starting from 5,100 Ghana cedis for a couple. Early bird discount, book and pay before the 25th of March, and so that is over, but you would have had an opportunity to save an extra 10%. Of course, the opportunity is still there. Package offer guests free access to all in-house facilities, swimming pool, gym, cinema with popcorn, board games, snooker, etc. You also get to enjoy free airport pickup from Takoradi on Friday at 5 p.m. Always remember, terms and conditions apply. Fun activities include live band, in-house carnival, splash playground for kids, sip and paint, bicycle rides, boat ride to Maha Village, jet ski, banana boat, party bus ride, trip to Inzulezu, and many more. You can call for your reservation now to avoid any kind of disappointment. And the landline is 0303 977 773 or on the mobile 050 1570 684 or 054 101 24114. And so you know where you're going to have to spend your Easter holidays this April. Now, again, we get to celebrate a lot more here, but remember that we're still cashing out today. It's *439#. You follow the prompt and you choose your favorite platform, which is TV3, and your favorite platform is always number 2. So play. The more you play, the higher your chances of winning. And there is a jackpot. You know how we do it. MG jackpot. That will be the selection you will pick this Friday, Easter Friday. And so look forward to that big jackpot. We'll be telling you what you'll be getting. And yes, Vitality Health Insurance is inviting all corporate institutions, associations, and groups to be a part of our medical plans. Cut down medical expenses and enjoy good and quality health care at a facility near you. For more information, visit us on www.vitalitymh.com or call us now on 026 6573 200. You're still here on Newday on TV3. When we come back, we'll bring you some more. Do stay with us. Now, though, a lot of children have been suffering from autism, and this month is dedicated as Autism Awareness Month. The Ghana Armed Forces is doing something special, and we have officers of the Ghana Armed Forces right here in studio to have a conversation as regards exactly what officials are doing. Good morning to you. And thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
So, of course, I do have with me Air Commodore Thomas Okai, Director General Policy, General Headquarters, Ghana Armed Forces. It's great to have you here, sir.
Thank you.
And, of course, as well with us, Naval Lieutenant Irajua Kumitreme, who is also with us. Good morning to you, ma'am. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having us.
Yes, so, I mean, we talk about autism, but maybe a number of people may not really know. If you can tell us really what it is and why, briefly, the Ghana Armed Forces thinks it's important to come in helping to deal with the problem.
All right. Thank you very much for the question. So autism is a type of neurodevelopmental disorder. And neurodevelopmental disorders are a group of disorders that are usually identified in children before they start school. Autism, or the autism spectrum disorder, is usually characterized by deficits or differences in social interaction and communication. People on the spectrum, as we usually say, are usually sticklers for routine. They also exhibit very repetitive behaviors, and they also have some sensory processing differences. Yes.
What does that mean?
So they are drawn to certain textures or certain lights or certain colors. So if an autistic child were to be here, they would try and feel the different textures, and the ones that they like, they will stick to. The ones that they don't like, they would avoid.
I've heard some experts say that when you find a child sometimes highly intelligent, extremely smart at a particular age, you should suspect that that child could be within that spectrum, as you call. Is that what the case is?
So thank you again for that question. Autism is a spectrum, like I said, meaning that there are no two people who are the same, even though they both have autism. And depending on the severity of symptoms, then we can tell what level it is. There are about 10% or so that exhibits very, very high levels of intelligence. And we usually say that they are autistic individuals with the savant syndrome as well. So there's an example of this young man who won American Idols, I think Cody Lee. He is blind and autistic, but he's so good at the piano. And so, yes, there are some of them that are very, very smart and do exceptionally well in spite of their diagnosis.
Air Commodore,
Yes.
the Ghana Armed Forces, like I said, is doing something special in terms of helping to deal with this problem. What exactly are you doing?
Good. Thank you very much. We are going to put up a special needs school. What informed this decision? We realized that we have a number of our personnel who have children with autism. Now, because of that, the Ghana Armed Forces is spread across Ghana. But then, the schools that handle such children may be very few. And where they are available, mostly you find them in the urban centers, and they could be very expensive. And we have our personnel worrying about where to find schools that will fit the purpose for their child. Like my colleague said, no two persons may exhibit the same symptoms. So somebody might find a school that is suitable, close to where he or she is working, another person may not. And so they need to be moving around every time, trying to find out where they can have their children properly catered for. Beyond that, when you come to peace support operations, United Nations, for now, because of gender issues, there's always the call for us to increase female participation. You and I would know that normally it's the mothers that will suffer the brunt of this situation when it comes to autism. And so it becomes an operational matter when a female soldier or officer cannot participate in a United Nations mandated operation and gain needed experience. Beyond that, there's the issue of money. It's normally unaffordable, and the stress that goes with it. And so the Ghana Armed Forces thought that it would be good if we have a facility that will cater to the needs of a number of children on the spectrum, irrespective of what the symptoms or conditions might be.
And the school will be free for your officers?
Let me say that the school will not be only for officers to start with. We have a defense civilian staff, but then, as civilian counterparts and partners, we cannot leave you out. Most of the schools in Burma camp and across various military garrisons, so many of the children are children of civilians. This is going to be something similar. And it's going to follow best practice because we are in partnership with the Spectrum Academy based in the Salt Lake City, Utah, United States. We are going to, of course, there's institution free. Now, we are going to put in a foundation that will work out the modalities of what this would entail. But the school or the center is going to be very unique. If I may, maybe I would explain a few things that from the design stage is going to be built for purpose.
Before you go to the design stage, I'm not sure I got clarity on the financial implications for those who bring
there will be a foundation that will be put in place when the launching is done tomorrow.
Okay.
The foundation will come out with the modalities as to whether there will be the need to pay or whether it will be free. They will work all these modalities out.
Yes. Now, you talked about it being unique, and you are going to take us through the process.
Yes. Now, we are going to have children at 14 different levels, from KG2 right up to SHS 3. Each level is going to have 3 streams. Why? Each stream will look at the abilities of a child. For example, if it's class 4, the children who are to be in class 4, what are the various abilities? So we'll know which stream to place the child in. It is going to have sensory integrated suites, therapy facilities, calm inside and outside environments, counseling facilities for parents, facilities to train teachers, caregivers, other health support staff in handling special needs children. So these are some of the things that we expect when it comes to the facility.
Naval Lieutenant, we heard Air Commodore say that a number of these facilities are not available, and the ones that are mostly concentrated within urban areas. Do we have an idea where you're going to situate this very facility? I believe the first of many you're constructing?
Yeah, what we are thinking about, the first one is going to be in Burma camp.
Okay.
It's not going to be a cheap venture, given the things I've talked about. Even the outside space, we are talking of astroturfs and the like. And so when this is going to be a model, when we are done with that, like I said, the Ghana Armed Forces personnel are spread across Ghana in various garrisons. So we'll see to replicate, if not on the same scale, at different scales within the various garrisons.
Okay. Please, your final word as we move into the launch, which is happening tomorrow, right?
Yes. So then I'd like to run through some symptoms of autism, just in case someone is at home and is wondering whether their child has or is on the spectrum. So we keep saying spectrum, and I know not everyone would fully understand it, but then it ranges from one end to another. It could either be that the child would need very substantial support, some substantial support or support. And like the Air Commodore mentioned, at the facility, we would know where to put you based on your peculiar symptoms. So most of the time, the main thing that is observable with children that have autism is that they have difficulties engaging in social interaction. And so they are usually not able to make certain connections, right? So let's say they don't fully understand nonverbal conversation. They may not fully respond to their name when you call them. They may be distracted by the textures or the lights. And so if you have a child that is exhibiting any of these things, some even have a preference or abject rejection on certain foods based on texture. And so if you have a child that you're not too sure, or a child that is totally nonverbal, you can bring them for assessment, and then we know how to support you.
Thank you so much. Naval Lieutenant Iraja Kumitremi, I believe you're the psychologist at, yes, your office, and also Air Commodore Thomas Okai, Director, General Policy, General Headquarters, Ghana Armed Forces. Thank you very much.
Can I say just one thing? Tomorrow, we are launching it, like we said, in Burma Hall. It's starting at 11 a.m. We're inviting everyone listening or watching to be part of this journey. It's going to be one exciting journey. We don't want anybody to be left out.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. Thanks so
Thank
much.
you very much for coming. And so you heard him there. It's tomorrow at 11 a.m. at the Burma Hall, which is within Burma Camp. And so make your way to the place tomorrow for this launch. Well, 2026 is the year to travel, explore and experience more. And Global Wings Travel and Tours, in partnership with Media General, invite you to experience the best of Malaysia and Singapore this April. Enjoy 9 unforgettable days with return flights, luxury hotels in Kuala Lumpur and Singapore, daily meals, visa facilitation, city tours at Genting Highlands with cable ride, also intercity transfers, and so much more available for you. So why wait? Just make your April 2026 Malaysia and Singapore trip a reality. Call or WhatsApp now 055-01-88181 or 055-3688-398 today. Do stay with us. When we come back, we'll bring you some more. now by Jessica Quaino, Category Brand Manager, Multipro Private Limited. Good morning to you, ma'am. Thank you for joining us. And of course, we do have as well Nerise, who are Assistant Brand Manager, Multipro Private Limited. Thank you for joining us as well. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, Indomie Fest, what can you tell us about it?
All right, so thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. So Indomie Fest is a big kids platform where we celebrate everything flavor, family, and fun. It's an activity that has happened in Ghana for the past 8 years, and this year we are going bigger and better. For the Indomie brand, we do believe that one of the things that we want to throw light on is the kids that love the brand and the product, and the mothers or the parents who also give it to the kids. And so this is a platform where we are giving back to our communities who have been with the brand for more than 20 years in Ghana.
Yeah.
This year, we already did the first one in Koforidua, and the second destination is Accra. We have plans to go into other regions, but we are here today to speak about the one happening in Accra.
Okay, great. And you're saying that this is the 8th year you're doing this.
Yes.
Why are you organizing this?
And so, as I said earlier, for the Indomie brand, we believe that we need to connect with our communities. We see the platform as the medium where our consumers or our audience have the creativity, and then the platform where they can explore and do more. It's not only about the meals that are consumed, but a place where we are giving kids the arena to have more fun. And it's also a platform where parents, mothers, even older adults have the opportunity to relax as well.
Wow. Nerissa, if you can tell us, we just heard Jessica say that it's happening in Accra. Yeah. Which part of Accra this is happening at?
Good Park.
Okay.
Accra Mall. So it's on the 6th of April. So this is actually a perfect way to cap off the
6th of April?
Which is Easter Monday.
Easter Monday. Yeah. Yes. And really, I mean, listening to Jessica, I can assume that we are expecting children, parents.
Yeah.
Who else should we expect at this Indomie Fest?
Young adults, guardians, fun-loving kids. Basically, it's for everyone.
Okay. What kind of fun activities should we expect?
So for this year, as I said, we are going bigger and better. We are bringing A-list artists such as Sister Fia, such as Last Maid, such as Mr. Drew. And we also have the famous DGL Dance Academy, who would also be there. And so there's the concert part of it. But then there are other experiences that would also give. We have immersive booth, which would get the kids into their own sensory worlds where they can explore. Indomie Fest Accra is also going to have the biggest kids play area this year for Easter Monday. So it is actually the place that everyone needs to be on Easter Monday. There's also going to be a mom scanner where we would engage moms or even dads as well in a very immersive experience where we would have different recipes of the noodles that they can prepare for their kids as well. So it really promises to be a fun, loving day for both the kids and then the parents.
And aside from taking them through the recipes, are they going to have samples they can taste so they know when they are home and they are cooking, this is the taste they got when they tasted it there?
Yes. So at the Mom's Corner, we are going to have a lot of Indomie recipes that is different from what the parents usually do for the kids, right? And so I'm pretty sure everyone who will be at that corner would learn a thing or two that they can prepare for the kids or the whole family.
How do I participate as a family if I want to be there Monday, the 6th of April?
All right, so it's a ticketed event. Per person goes for 20 cedis. For a group of 3, it goes for 50 cedis. And for a group of 6, it goes for 100 Ghana cedis. You can purchase the tickets by *714*57# or visit vtickets.com to purchase the ticket. Alternatively, you can also purchase it once you are at the Accra Mall. Road Park.
Please, any final words from you?
Oh, we want to thank our loyal customers who have been enjoying Indomie for the past 20 years. We love you, we care for you. That is why we are giving back this activity to you as a as a loyalty program. Yeah.
Any other final word from you?
So it promises to be a day of fun. Families should come and relax and enjoy the experiences that we have curated for them. And we also really want to thank our consumers who have been with the brand for 20 years. This year promises to be a great year for our consumers, so our loyal supporters of the brand. And so we really thank them, and we are looking forward to seeing all of them at the Good Park on Easter Monday.
By the way, are there special surprises that the loyal customers should be expecting?
There's a lot. So everyone who is going to come there would leave with some free packages from the brand. There's also going to be some games and experiences that you can take part and win amazing prizes for yourselves. And everyone that is going to come would have something to take out from the brand. And so it's really going to be a day where you come, there are going to be a lot of Indomie instant noodles, very tasty, delicious, that everybody can enjoy. And when they are leaving as well, they are going to leave with a lot of goodies from the brand.
You heard her right. Thank you very much, Jessica Queno, Category Brand Manager at MultiPro Private Limited. Thank you for coming in and sharing this with us. And also to you as well, Nerise, who are Assistant Brand Manager, MultiPro Private Limited. Thank you, ladies, for joining in.
Thank you.
And you're still here on Newday on TV3. Do stay with us because we're back with some more. Don't go away. 30,000 we're given for the MG jackpot, and so you've got to prepare yourself to play. We're giving you 30,000, and of course, as the days draw closer, we'll be giving you a lot more information regarding how you can get the best out of the 30,000. You'll be using MG jackpot, which is number 8. It is still the same, *439#. You follow the prompt and select MG jackpot, which is number 8. We're giving out 30,000 Ghana cedis to you. Now, if you're planning your next trip, whether it's for holidays, business, study abroad, or family travel, let EAS Tours take the stress out of your journey. They offer professional flight bookings, travel consultations, visa assistance, and personalized travel support to ensure everything is handled smoothly from start to finish. Travel with confidence, clarity, and peace of mind by choosing EAS Tours. Now, you can call or WhatsApp now on 0243 535 778 today to speak to a travel expert, get expert guidance, and start planning your next trip the EAS way. Now, with EAS Tours, you can travel now and pay later in 12 months. No initial deposit, no interest. EAS Tours to the whole Riase. Yes, and so you know where to go this April. Now, are you ready to scratch, win, and live your dreams? Review Scratch for Win is here to change your life. Just dial *850*3# to stand the chance to win up to 1 million Ghana cedis in cash, instant prizes. Now, it's easy, it's exciting, and it's regulated by the National Lottery Authority. Just dial *850*3# or visit www.scratchforwin.com to play now. It's easy to play. First, simply dial *850*3# on all networks. And 2, you select your preferred stake amount between 5 Ghana cedis and 2,000 Ghana cedis. And then 3, you choose your lucky card out of 5 exciting options. 4, you confirm your selection and enter your Momo PIN. 5, receive your game result and winnings instantly. It's easy, it's fun, and it's exciting. Get ready to scratch, win, and live your best life with Review Scratch for Win. Up to 1 million Ghana cedis up for grabs today. Just dial *850*3#, and that is the short code to play on all networks, or visit www.scratchforwin.com to play now. Review Scratch for Win. Scratch keke. Nedi sikasebem. Review is strictly for persons 18 years and above. Review Scratch for Win is powered by Super Cash Games. Now, if it's your birthday, we want to help you celebrate the day in a big and special way. And so let's see which of you is celebrating your birthday. Samuel Oforiko, dear, God bless you from Priscilla. Happy birthday to you, Samuel. Akosia Adepa, cheers to greatness, dear, from Sedem. Happy birthday to you, Akosia. Farida Akosia, may this new age open great doors unto you. Happy birthday to you, Farida. Stella Teria, from your friends, wishing you the best. Happy birthday, ma'am. Eliza Kutoko Kote, may God bless you from Adokwe Osu. Happy birthday to you. Michael Bequin, enjoy your day to the fullest from family and friends. Happy birthday to you, Michael. Nicholas Osei Jr., God bless you, my son, from your auntie. Happy birthday to you, young man. My amazing wife, I love you dearly. Larry Champon. Happy birthday to you, ma'am. Nicholas Osei Kufuor Jr., may God's grace and blessings constantly make you great, from your auntie. Maxwell, may God richly bless you. Mrs. Esther Mausi Golo Meke, wishing you good health and more grace from your lovely children and family. Happy birthday to you, ma'am.
Mrs. Charity Anima Dogbache. God bless you and wish you long life and prosperity from your children and family. Happy birthday to you, ma'am. Honorable DJ Eugene of the Liberia Broadcasting System of Monrovia. May God bless and keep you in good health. Happy birthday to you, Honorable DJ. Dina Eresi Oxman, may the good Lord protect you in your growing from your mother, Bibi. Happy birthday to you, young lady. Lovely photo shoot. Nanefia Ejewa of Kumasi, may God bless your new age with more blessings from your sister, Bibi. Happy birthday, Nanefia. Auntie Lydia, the matron of Ark Band, God bless you and enjoy your day. We love you from the management team and the whole band. Happy birthday to you, Auntie Lydia. Abena Carter, enjoy your new age and we love you. Admin Extraordinary from Area Mama, Chills and Vibes family. Mrs. Esther Nele Rang of Calvary YAF and Church Choir from Reverend Water. Happy birthday to you, Mrs. Esther. Presbyter Justice Chum Berima of Calvary Congregation from all church members. Happy birthday to you, sir. Also, Amadou Wua, God bless you abundantly from your Gimpa colleagues. Happy birthday to you, ma'am. Paulina Ajedum said, may this new age bring you many more blessings and prosperity from your entire family. Happy birthday, Paulina. Hauda Sadu, CEO of Bayaki Cakes, wishing you abundant blessings, good health, and deep joy. Happy birthday to you, ma'am. Engineer Farid Ishmael Hagan of Proslet Group Limited. God bless you from Roland Walker. Happy birthday to you, sir. Dinah Akoko. God bless you. Happy birthday to you, ma'am. Steve Van Kamase, Deputy Registrar at UEW. 60th birthday, sir. God bless you abundantly. God bless you. Happy birthday to you, sir. Beatrice Kote, you are blessed. Happy birthday to you, Beatrice. Amma Asamoah, cheers to greatness from Justice. Happy birthday to you, Amma. Ajubi Rosemond from Ghana Air Force, God bless your new age. Congratulations on your promotion from Justice. Happy birthday to you, ma'am. Apostle Israel Mensah of Word Generation Ministry, BBNE, from Eunice Mensah and the entire family. Happy birthday to you, Apostle. Selom Abedu Promise, God bless you, a very wonderful soul from Daro Agbozo. Happy birthday to you, Selom. Paulina, okay, it did this already. Happy birthday to you, Paulina. Mr. Richard Enim, aka Senior Balai, live long. Happy birthday to you, sir. Peace. May God bless your new age from John Quay. Happy birthday to you, ma'am. Leonard Womuako of Talo Ghana Limited, wish you love and God's blessings from your wife, Selassie and Kit. Happy birthday to you, sir. Stefano Kwao, the CEO of Orlando Links, God bless you with good health. Happy birthday to you, sir. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. My name is Beatrice Edu, but we'll be back very shortly. Do stay with us.